What's up, Internet? How's it going, everybody? Happy Saturday. Ooh, there we go. Yeah, how's everyone doing? Hope you all are having a fantastic weekend. Hope the first week of 2022 has treated you well. We're back. I'm here, pouring myself some tea, so we can do some more Ace Attorney investigations with our good old boy, Edgeworth. Alright, let's see. Story recap. So, there is a super thief that doesn't actually steal material possessions, but steals information and then exposes wrongdoings of companies and stuff. So, terror of the business world. That thief is called the Yatagarasu. They were inactive for the last several years, but then they have been starting to strike again. Edgeworth was out of the country, came back in recently, and has now gotten himself in the third murder in the span of 2-3 days. Once on the plane on the way over, back to the country. Once in his office as soon as he got back, and then, lo and behold, the next day, at the end of the whole of the office murder, he got called to help out with a kidnapping and ransom by one of his friends, old friend. And when he went to go hand over the ransom money, some shenanigans happened, and then he was looking around trying to find the kidnapped, teenager. I don't know how old. I guess it's a young adult. Anyway, rich kid family. And then finds a dead body, and then that's where we are. And then this guy is a Interpol agent from the equivalent of China. I forgot what the name of the country is already. But yeah, he's doesn't respect our way of doing things where you find evidence first before you go around arresting people. Not that we've been very good about that, because obviously, as Phoenix Wright, we see that they arrest the wrong person. I don't want to say frequently, but it does happen more than it probably should. So, that's who this guy is. And apparently he's also working with Francesca and murder victim number 2 on some case possibly regarding the Yatagarasu. Don't know yet. Not too clear on that yet. But, yeah, so he's trying to boss us around. He took over the investigation. But we're just trying to investigate on our own because our old rich friend's son is the kidnapped victim. You know, the butler that was also the caretaker for the son is now the murder victim. So that's all a thing. Lots of craziness, as to be expected of this series. I don't want to go super late tonight. I am, first of all, tired, and then second of all, sounds like my FC wants to do some stuff, and I'm like, of course you want to do that on the night that I'm streaming. Anyway, maybe we'll try to at least get a couple hours in. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how we feel. Let's continue where we left off, shall we? March 13th, 1:22 p.m. Oh. Yes, okay. Thanks, BlueStacks. Weird. Gatewaterland, main gate. So, Gatewaterland, it's not obvious, is basically like Disneyland. Or Universal Studios, I don't know, however you want to look at it. Gatewater Hotel built this shenanigans. Ugh. Chased out like a pair of peasants. Man, that's not quite right. A little more moody. Chased out like a pair of peasants. Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, Kay? There's something even thieves should never steal. Do you know what that is? You really shouldn't steal anything. However, I'll bite. What shouldn't a thief steal? Life. It's too heavy of a burden on your soul to get away with, ever. True. There is a difference between thieves and murderers. Although, not always. Sometimes murderers will steal things, but a true thief, the sneakiest of thieves, will do it with stealth and not murder. That's something we can agree on. Well said, Kay. No matter what we may try, murder is the one crime that can never truly be hidden. Okay, I was trying to do this without my little bangy things, but it's kind of driving me nuts. And I intend to prove that by my own hands. When I apprehend the murderer myself.
All right, and I'm gonna work extra hard to be a good assistant. Let's go.
Oh, Gumshoe got commandeered by the Interpol agent. I still never said she could be my assistant. I'm just gonna have to drop the issue. The first thing we should do is locate the real scene of the murder. Mr. Edgeworth! Oh, hey, Gumshoe, I thought you got commandeered. I was just saying you got commandeered by the Interpol agent, but here you are. Thanks for making me a liar. Detective Gumshoe. Mr. Edgeworth, the stadium! Hurry, sir! This is supposed to be hush-hush, but they found a witness at the stadium. A witness? You! What did we tell you about leaving your assigned post? Ah, the jig is up! Mr. Edgeworth, remember that I'm always rooting for you, so go get him, sir!
Those detectives sure like they're enjoying themselves.
It's not all fun and games, Kay. Now then, let's head to the stadium and meet with this witness. March 13th, 1:42 p.m. Stadium. I thought there was a witness here. Oh, is that a Lunchland truck? Oh no, that's the Pink Badger truck, right? And sells candies. That's right. The Pink Badger. The girlfriend badger.
Yeah, I don't see anyone.
Mr. Edgeworth! Emma!
Long time no see.
You are Miss Emma Skye, correct? I remember you, science girl. This girl is the younger sister of my former superior, Lana Skye. 2 years ago, we stood in the same courtroom together as witness and prosecutor. But I thought she had gone to Europe to study forensics.
Can't believe you remember me, Mr. Edgeworth.
Of course I do. How have you been? You look to be in good spirits. Are you still studying abroad?
You bet! More than anything, I want to investigate crime scenes scientifically. I've been studying non-stop every day to become a top-notch forensic scientist.
Scientist. I can talk, I swear.
But it's spring break now, so I thought I'd come back for a bit.
I see.
Yes?
No. Oh wait, I gotta show you my badge. I gotta show everybody my badge.
If I had one of these, I could be a prosecutor too, right?
Don't even think of stealing this from me.
If it's that important to you, then why don't you wear it on your lapel?
Suppose I can't really tell her that no one in the prosecutor's office wears their badges. But why does everyone ask that question of me? That's what I'd like to know. Because Phoenix wears his, and he wears it so proudly. I assume this is another Badgermobile.
Yeah, but it's a different color than the Blue Badger's car.
Yes, this is the retina searing pink model. Wow, Edgeworth. This coming from a man in a wine-colored suit. Fuchsia, even, actually. It's a bit too bright to be wine, TBH. Emma, are you the witness? I don't see anything else, so... I almost didn't recognize you. You've really grown in these past few years.
Please don't tease me, Mr. Edgeworth. I know I still have a long way to go. But I'm gonna be a super forensic scientist someday. You'll see. You seem to know Mr. Edgeworth really well. Are you two acquaintances? Oh, I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Emma Skye. Nice to meet you. I'm studying abroad now to be a forensic scientist. How about you? Wow, that's a great dream. My name's Kay Faraday. And I'm training to become an unstoppable great thief. A great thief?
Don't think too hard on it, Emma. It's not worth the trouble. In any case, we have much to catch up on.
You bet we do.
How you doing, Emma? How's it going? So, why are you here, Emma?
Well, I just happened to decide to come back home for spring break. And then I heard that you'd come back too, so I raced on over here. I had really wanted to welcome you back at the airport, but I just missed you.
And how exactly did you know I was here?
Through the power of science, naturally. Never underestimate what science can do for you. I used these to track your footprints, and I followed them straight to you. What?
Emma, we need to talk. That's called stalking. You can't do that. It's not okay. Girl.
This set is the greatest. It's so wonderfully scientific. You spray this chemical on the ground, and when you shine the special light on it, zing! The footprints light up like an electrified noble gas in a glass tube. It's almost like magic, scientifically speaking.
Forensic science has never seemed more ominous to me than at this very moment. Like I said, stalking. Are you the witness, Emma? Emma, I'd like to ask you about what you witnessed.
Huh? What are you talking about?
Are you not the witness Detective Gumshoe told us about?
Well, I did get a call from Detective Gumshoe earlier. He was practically yelling at me. Mr. Edgeworth needs your help Mr. Edgeworth needs your scientific doohickeys right now, pal, he said.
What was that man thinking? Or rather, not thinking?
So let me guess, there's been a murder, right?
Yes, unfortunately. There's a sudden glint in her eyes. Emma! Murders aren't something you should be happy about. But I need to keep my mind focused on the witness. Now, where did that person go? What's that off in the distance? Is it the pink badger?
Oh, hey, it's the pink badger. Badger, get!
Badger, 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 badger. Just what does she see in these silly things? Tough love.
I think this badger has something to say to you, Mr. Edgeworth.
Are you by chance the witness I've been searching for? Sorry, but I don't speak badger dance. Oh boy. Gotta show you my badge.
This is the symbol of a prosecutor, right? I don't think I've ever seen you wear it, though.
Well, I'm not as enthusiastic about wearing it as you are with your pin badges.
I know, right? I mean, I really wanted to put even a few more on today. Oh, hey, I like yours, Kay. Do you have any extras? Sorry, but there's only one of these in the world, and it's proof that I am the great thief. Scientifically calculating and thinking critically about this. Then putting it in a way that transmits the feeling that I understand. Whew, done. She makes it sound like she knows what she's talking about, but she really has no idea.
Admittedly, I'm slightly confused by what she's just rattled off. So, not gonna show you anything. Alright. Hello, Pink Badger. Oh no! Of course she's in this game. You can't go through anything with Edgeworth without Old Bag. Okay, let's do this.
Ha! I can't take being inside that stuffy head anymore.
You're... No. Why her? Why here? Why now? First met this woman 3 years ago. She was a witness in one of my cases. She has since gone out of her way to pop up unexpectedly and cause me great grief.
Edgy Poo! Why couldn't you understand what I was trying to tell you? I mean, really. I was trying so hard to keep the kids' dreams alive by staying in character. But you couldn't pick up on what I was trying to convey to you! I'm sick and tired of that roundabout way of talking, so I'm going to just be direct.
I had a bad feeling before this just made it official. Today has gone beyond the typical not my day into the realm of waking nightmare.
So, you're a friend of Mr. Edgeworth too, Miss Pink Badger? You could say that, but right now I'm just the Pink Badger, dearie.
She may look the part, but I know better than to trust my eyes around this woman.
My name is Wendy Oldbag, but you can call me Wendy, or Granny, or whatever suits your fancy. Nice to meet you, Miss Oldbag. I'm Kay Faraday. What do I care about a young whippersnapper like you? Yeesh, I was just trying to be polite.
Weren't you a security guard at one of the Gatewater hotels last time we met?
I go where I'm needed. I'm very good at what I do, unlike the youth of today. I get called in all the time to fill in when there aren't enough hands. But enough about me, Edgy Poo. I'm thoroughly dejected right now. I finally get the chance to see you again, and here you are talking with two young girls. Men are all the same. Doesn't matter whether it's something, young girls, notice me, arranged 16-year-old marriage, persimmon, 3 years ripe. Oh, okay. Alright, that was the thing. You seem to attract all sorts of interesting people, Mr. Edgeworth.
Kay, please, I'm begging you. By all means, do not provoke her any further. Are you the witness, old bag?
Aren't you forgetting about something, Mr. Edgeworth? This person could be the witness.
Honestly, I hope she isn't, but I don't think fate is going to be so kind today.
I saw what happened. I even saw the exact moment it happened. How's that? So it's true, she is the witness.
I don't suppose I can afford to ignore the old bag.
Yes, it was just a little while ago. I saw it happen right in front of me. Moment of the murder.
You mean to say that you witnessed someone being killed right before your eyes?
Sounds like a pretty important piece of testimony to me.
What old bag witnessed?
I came to the stadium to take a short break. As I was resting, I happened to glance over and I saw two men facing each other in that area. Suddenly, there was a loud gunshot and the person who was shot fell to the ground. It was a very terrifying experience, let me tell you. Looks like we hit the jackpot, huh, Mr. Edgeworth?
Yes, I can't afford to ignore what she has to say. Unfortunately.
What's that unfortunately you tacked on at the end supposed to mean, Edgy Poo? Well, anyway, let's see what we can find out from this little old lady.
We're gonna press everything because that's just how we do. She has taken a break. You mean you took a break from being the Pink Badger?
You may not think it, but it's hard work keeping kids' dreams alive. You smell of sweat, your hip creaks with pain. You even begin to dream about work. That's the kind of story that would scar a child for life, you know. Well, that's why I chose to come take my break here, whippersnapper. I don't plan on playing the part of the dead badger in front of a bunch of kids.
So, what did you see while you were... So, what did you see while you, the Pink Badger, were resting?
Oh, yes, that. Well...
Glanced over and saw two men. You saw two men. Can you describe them for me?
They looked like your average Joes, completely uninteresting and not worth fawning over. I'm telling you, they were so boring they don't even remember much beyond that.
But did they have any special features? Anything you can recall would be very helpful.
Oh my, don't tell me you're jealous of those two men. Hey, she's right. You do seem pretty worked up over them, Mr. Edgeworth.
Because one of them could be... We need to confirm if this was our murder victim and who the hell his murderer was. Duh! Come on, Kay. I'm not worked up over anyone, and I'm not jealous.
It's all right, Hedgy Poo. Those two are just little foals compared to a stallion like you. I thought so little of them that I lost interest the instant I laid eyes on them.
Suddenly there was a loud gunshot. Person who was shot fell to the ground. Okay. You're claiming to have seen the exact moment in which the murder took place.
Absolutely! That gun made a terrible racket when it was fired. You didn't try to go help the person that got shot? I'm only one person, you smart-alecky brat! What could I have done? And I took off as soon as I could to help find someone who could help.
2 men, 1 bullet. It's all consistent with what we found out from the body. Except the angle of the shot, because he probably got shot from lower. Because the angle went up in through his abdomen, I think it was, and then out his shoulder. Let's take a look at the notes. Shot from ABD through shoulder. Entry point lower right. Yeah, from his abdomen up through his shoulder. So that would put the angle from down up.
Plus, where's the blood?
Sadly, there wasn't exactly a lot of new information to go on in your testimony.
Well, if I saw the guy again, I'm sure I could identify him for you. I mean, how do you expect me to remember anything without something to jog my memory? Self-centered, aren't we?
VoD was somewhat useful. Her testimony also presents us with a new problem.
Mr. Edgeworth!
Yes?
So about this new problem...
What is that giant grin on your face for?
Do you want me to show you something really nice?
No, thank you.
Don't be so mean. I swear it's something you're gonna like.
What is that gadget you're holding?
You should see... What you see before you is the secret weapon of a great thief.
I should have known it would be worthless.
Oh, don't be like that. What do you think now?
What is it doing? It's projecting something into the air.
I'm going to input the necessary information to run the simulation right now. Once I'm done, I'll increase the size of the projection to its maximum size. Dark skies of evening, when no other bird dares take wing, one alone remains all-seeing. Now, witness the true power of a real modern-day Robin Hood.
Whoa! What is this?
This is a recreation of the murder based on the info I inputted it into Little Thief.
She can run simulate. That is pretty good and very handy thief training if you can run simulations like this. Pretty cool. Little Thief. Dare say I think you're taking the Robin Hood thing a bit too far.
Little Thief is actually meant to be a simulator for me to plan my thefts. But I suppose if I used it like this... Let's see. Miss Oldbag said the two men were facing each other. And then a gunshot rang out and the victim fell to the ground.
So with this, we can inspect the crime scene as it was in the past. Very cool. I like it.
See? So what do you think?
I have to say I'm impressed by the technology thieves have access to these days. That's also very true. How did she get this kind of technology? Like, how did that happen? Mildly concerning, wouldn't you say?
Well, it is the super secret weapon of the mighty Yatagarasu.
Indeed.
Oh, but if there isn't enough information or something is out of place, the recreation could come out a little strange.
In other words, I can use this to authenticate the validity of a witness's testimony.
You got it! You really catch on quick, Mr. Edgeworth.
right now the simulation is a recreation of that witness's testimony. So for now, I should re-examine everything. And if I find anything illogical or strange, I can then ask for a clarification.
Feel free to examine anything in the simulation in the way you always do. You can even present evidence when you find a contradiction. And if you find something, I've got little thief with... Sorry. And if you find something, I've got little thief with me, so you just let me know, okay?
Ooh! This is neat. Dare we talk to Old Vag?
What is this, some sort of new attraction?
I gotta show everybody my badge.
Go on, Edgy Poo, show me anything and I'll tell you all about it.
Very well. What do you think about this?
It's nothing special.
Hey! Somehow I figured she'd say as much. Rude. That's my badge.
This is amazing. Just feel the power of science.
Okay, Emma. I already showed you my badge. Well... According to the testimony, the victim fell to the ground here.
That's right, but...
But if that's the case, then we've already found our first contradiction.
Huh? What? Where?
If this is the real scene of the crime, there's something missing that should be here. Blood! Lots of blood! Which piece of evidence shows the missing item? Is it not the blood? I think it would be the blood, but what? Do we show this? This is the contradiction.
Huh? Something wrong with my recreation?
If this is the real scene of the crime, something specific should be here. If you think back, how did we deduce that the other crime scene was not the real one? Lack of blood!
Oh, I get what's missing now. There's no blood on the ground here either, right?
Right. The fact that there is no blood here casts doubt on the witness's testimony.
Edgy Poo, how can you doubt me like that? Are you calling me a liar? I know what I saw, and I saw the victim get shot down. You know, I don't think she's lying, Mr. Edgeworth.
To be honest, I can't think of a reason why she would lie to me. In that case, maybe there's another explanation for the distinct lack of blood. Why is there no blood around the victim's prone body? I bet he was in a badger suit. Because they did take one of the cars, you know. It's the silhouette of the killer with his gun at the ready. Okay, is it not possible to recreate the face of the killer?
Well, I can't exactly input what we don't know into Little Thief.
She has a point. Is it time to logic? Victim was a kidnapper? Victim was in a costume? And there's no blood. I might have to just logic this. See if there's anything else we can look. I don't think there's anything else to look at though, you know? Oh, what's this? It looks like they broke the stage down. The stage I saw this morning in the center of the stadium has been packed away. Oh, okay.
I guess this means they're done for the day.
Maybe it's because of different shows scheduled to start its run tomorrow. Possible. It looks like they broke up. Same text. Okay. I think I have to do some logic, I guess. Because there's nothing else to look at, huh? And I'm fairly convinced that the victim was killed here, but then why is there no blood? There must be some explanation for this contradiction. Perhaps I should go over all the information I've gathered one more time. Yep, logic time. Alright, let's do it. Connect the dots. It's not possible that the victim was wearing a costume.
So, you really think that Mr. Deacon was one of the kidnappers?
I think we can reasonably assume there's a very good chance that he was. And that if he was shot while he was inside one of the stolen costumes.
Then Mr. Deacon's blood would be inside the costume instead of on the ground.
Precisely. Now if only we could prove that the victim was wearing a costume.
You'd think that it could be pretty easy if we could find some footprints. But the problem is finding them since there doesn't seem to be any around.
Footprints, huh? Wonder how we can go about finding some of those. Maybe the new science stuff that Emma just said that she brought to go and stalk you. Hey, girl. Footprint tech?
This is amazing. Just feel the power of science.
Footprint analysis. Emma, about the method you were talking about for finding footprints.
Finally, my expert knowledge in forensics is needed.
Yes, well, can you detect and trace even partial footprints?
Leave it to me. My cutting-edge detection kit can find anything.
Very well. If you could please analyze the footprints in this area.
Okay, stand back now and witness the power of science at work. Hey, I found something. Look right there.
I don't see anything.
Oh, that's right. Here, put these special glasses on, Mr. Edgeworth.
Whoa! That's a lot. These footprints here were definitely left by a badger costume.
Judging by the way the prints are layered, these seem to be the newest.
And then we can conclude that the victim was definitely wearing a costume at the time. Victim's costume data jotted down in my organizer. What about her footprints?
Okay, in that case, I'll update Little Thief's simulation parameters. I can't wait to see what we find out from this new info.
Pew! Investigation complete! Neat. So, the victim was wearing a costume when he died.
And with that, we should be one step closer to the truth, right?
I see the recreation has changed in accordance with this new information. We may be closer, but now something else has caught my attention.
What do you want?
Your testimony, naturally. I'd like to hear it one more time, if you please. We're gonna talk about the angle of the shot now? The thing that I noticed first? Alright, what old bag witnessed?
I came to the stadium to take a short break. As I was resting, I happened to glance over and I saw two men facing each other in that area. Suddenly, there was a loud gunshot and the person who was shot fell to the ground. It was a very terrifying experience, let me tell you.
Isn't that the same that she gave earlier?
So does this mean that Miss Oldbag's testimony is a contradiction in it?
Yes, and I believe our best course of action is to compare it with your recreation.
See, I just knew Little Thief would be of help. Now let's see if we can pull more info from Miss Oldbag to put it into the recreation.
For that, we must first find the contradiction in her testimony. What old bag witnessed? I want to press her again on everything. I don't know if it's going to give us something different. Only one way to find out. Meanie took a break from being the pink badger.
You may not think it, but it's hard work keeping kids' dreams alive. It smells sweat.
Oh yeah, it's the same combo. Okay. Scarred for life. Doesn't want to be a dead badger. What did she see while she was the badger? Saw two men facing each other in that area. Saw two men. Described. She didn't have a description. I'm just looking for new text. And then they're like, oh, you're totally jealous. And he's like, no. No? Loud gunshot person who was shot fell to the ground. Claiming to have seen exact moment. Terrible racket. Didn't go help him. And then she ran off. Okay. Very terrifying experience. Did we get to press this last time? I don't remember. Let's try it now.
Well, don't you have anything to say to me?
No, not especially.
You're so cold, Edgy Poo. But that is exactly what I like about you. You sure are one tough cookie, one part unshakable and one part scary.
Watch that smart mouth of yours, Missy. What do you know about my fragile heart? Knowing what we know now, thanks to your recreation.
The contradiction stands out like a giant sore thumb.
Precisely. It's all becoming clear to me. Let's clear up this issue with some well-presented evidence and get this over with. Resting, saw two men facing each other. Person who was shot fell to the ground. Very terrifying. Likely wearing one due to... It was two men. How did she know it was two men? Because one of them was just a badger, you know? Okay, let's try that. Likely wearing one due to footprints, shape, and the lack of blood. Let's do it. Objection! Two men. How did you know the gender of the two people involved? Seeing as how the victim was wearing a costume at the time.
Ha!
Furthermore, I have another matter I'd like to inquire about. I'd very much like to know why you failed to mention the costume in your testimony.
Ah!
I'm beginning to doubt if you really witnessed the murder at all.
But I'm telling you, I really did see it. I saw it with my very own eyes. From a seat in the second tier.
Second tier?
Hey, didn't you say you saw it right in front of you earlier? That was, you know, I was using the phrase in the metaphorical sense.
I see your witness still has a screw loose in the metaphorical sense. Ah, old bag. That's it. That's all I got. I don't know what else to say about that. Just, old bag.
The cushy seats in the second tier reserved for hotshot VIPs. Which is exactly why I go there now and again to take a nap. I can't see how you could have gotten so good look. Sorry. I can't see how you could have gotten a good look from there. It's so high up.
Were you able to see even the victim's costume from way up there?
Well, I know I saw two people, but I couldn't really see what they looked like because they were in the stage's shadow.
Huh. In the shadow of the stage, it was hard to make out the killer and the victim that old bag saw in the stage's shadow.
My eyesight isn't what it used to be, you know? Not like when I was young.
Oh my god, spotted a man 200 paces away. Flash, try to make a move. Easy as careful, girl. She don't make this shit easy. Let's return to our investigation, shall we, Kay?
You got it.
Begin investigation. This new silhouette of the victim is in a costume.
Silhouettes can change depending on the information I input. But Little Thief can recreate more than just people. So investigate away. We may even find more info with which to make a more accurate sim.
Alright, sounds like a plan. It's the silhouette of the killer with his gun at the ready. Okay, is it not? Oh, same convo. Can't put in info we don't know about. Broke the stage down. Do we need to logic those things together? Stage was packed up. Stage saw this morning the center of the stadium and then packed away. Hard to make out the kill and the victim in those. So, that means the time of death was probably in the morning because the stage was still there, right? That's what we're kind of getting at here, I think. Connect the dots. Do it. That woman's testimony is to be believed. The murder occurred before the stage was broken down.
You want me to input that bit of info into Little Thief?
Yes, if you would please.
Okay.
Room. That doesn't work. Now he's inside the stage. Event schedule. Battle of the Magicians, Max Galactica versus Troop Grammary. I know Max Galactica. Troop Grammary. Grammary? Sounds very familiar. Tomorrow there will be a concert by the hip new rock band, the Governors. Not that either of these stage shows interest me in the least.
This is amazing. Just feel the power of science.
Thanks to you, I'm able to proceed with my investigation once again. Thank you.
Ah, it was nothing. I'm just glad that science and I could be of service. Pretty amazing how we could see the footprints. So, what's the secret behind that thing? Oh, you want to know? Here, you can read the manual. Ha, very interesting. So if I do this, I can avoid leaving footprints.
She can't be serious trying to use this information to her advantage as a thief. Wait. We are just making the super thief even more super! Good job, us. Helping out the thieves.
What is this? Some sort of new attraction?
Super thief! Hey, Emma. Yep. Look at her! She looks so good! Look at her! I need a hat. Actually, I do have a hat like this, but it's not pink. And now I kind of want a pink one. What's up, Dr. Lupin? How's it going? How you doing tonight? How's your first week of 2022? Whoop. So this is weird. Clearly, the murderer can't be standing inside of the stage. And there's clearly
a contradiction here.
Just add spaghetti? I want more spaghetti. Okay, so, little tangent here. We made spaghetti earlier in the week, and I was gonna, when we make spaghetti, we make a lot of spaghetti, so I was gonna set some aside and have some for lunch the next day. Cinti comes home, and it goes, is this all the, and he just loads up and eats all the spaghetti, because, that's what was left in there, but I'm like, that was a lot of spaghetti. How the fuck did you eat that much? What am I gonna have for lunch the next day? So yeah, he was just like, oh, I'm so full, I ate so much, and I'm like, did you leave anything? Why did you eat the whole thing? That was clearly too much for one person. He still ate it all. So, because of that, and getting shafted on the spaghetti, we got more spaghetti so I can make more spaghetti for dinner sometime this week. Because I was just so offended that I didn't... And he didn't even use the Parmesan cheese, so we have all this fresh Parmesan that didn't get used because he didn't put it on his damn spaghetti. Yeah, a lot of things went wrong with that. So anyway, we're having more spaghetti this week. That's my tangent. My little rant. Yeah, he had 2 people's worth of spaghetti for dinner. I was just like, how dare you? How dare you eat my lunch? I didn't think I would have to put it away because I would be like, take what you want, and then, usually just takes whatever he wants, and then there's some left over, and then I could pack that away and have it for lunch. But no, he ate the whole thing. So, okay. Anyway, back to the video games. Please stop stealing my lines.
Oh, come on. It wasn't that hard to see it coming, even for a layman like me.
Suppose. In any case, it's not possible for the killer to have stood here in that way. Spaghetti is gluten-free and was quite interesting taste. Very good. Nice! Oh, actually, on that note, We did buy our spaghetti this time from Tokyo Central, which is it used to be called Marukai. They had rice spaghetti, rice noodles. So spaghetti made from rice instead of wheat, and I'm like, huh. So that would. I'm like, that's interesting. I'm gonna try it. So we'll see how that goes. I'll let you know how it is. I'm looking forward to it. Because there was a very real stage set up in this spot at that time.
Yeesh, I told you I got it. Do you feel the need to explain everything?
Yes, well, in any case, we still need to resolve this unusual situation. Done with a mixture of rice and corn, quite the combo. Looking forward to it as well. Nice. Corn is actually a very big thing that they would put in Japanese stuff. So I think in Japanese pastas as well. So sounds very cool. I'm excited for spaghetti now. And I'm just thinking about it.
Isn't it obvious? The killer was on top of the stage, naturally. Right, Miss Oldbag? Yes, I remember now. The killer was standing on top of the stage. See? Now let me update the info in the simulation.
This tech, so cool. Super neat. Let's explain the angle, but isn't the angle backwards? Like, I thought the entry was through the abdomen and then out the shoulder. So shouldn't they be flipped? Like, shouldn't the... What's laying? Interpol guy. Yeah. Because they said the entry was through the abdomen and then out the shoulder, so it should be flipped with the victim standing on the stage and then the shooter down below. And then that would all make sense. But I guess they're not thinking about that. Okay, what was Lang's voice again? Let me think. Well, well, what have we here? Bunch of hooligans running amok, I see. Agent Lang, how nice of you to join us. Well, I can't have you going around messing up my crime scenes. Agent Lang, we've discovered that the real scene of the murder is here, the stadium. I see, thanks. For what? I'm just trying to show you my appreciation for all the time you saved me. Who knew that such a strange little toy could recreate a crime scene like that?
Little Thief is not a toy.
You two! Sir! Nope. They had two guys unpack and set up that stage in this short... That's very unrealistic. As somebody who worked on this stuff before, super unrealistic. That shit is fucking heavy, and also you need a lot of spotters, and also it takes a long time to set it up. Are they Superman? Good question. Superman. And there you have it. See, big boys like me don't need silly little toys, little girl. Now this is a recreation. So what? Do you still intend to assert that Officer Meekins is the killer? Of course! Even knowing that the crime took place here doesn't let him off the hook. Agent Lang's logic. This is the real scene of the crime. Officer Meekins lay in wait for the victim on top of the stage. And when the victim finally showed, he shot him from on high. How would he know who he was intended? He was wearing a costume. Like, how does he know it's the right person? I have questions. That's the truth your little recreation showed. How far will you go to accuse Officer Meekins of the crime? He's the most likely suspect we've got, especially given the situation with his gun.
Well, even if he is the killer, at least my recreation was on the mark.
Not quite. See, thank you for understanding, my little crow girl.
I'm not some common crow. I'm the Yatagarasu, the Raven of Legend.
Unfortunately, your conclusion has yet to be tested, so let's see how well it holds up. Press everything. Agent Lang's logic. Real scene of the crime. Looks like we found the real crime scene first. Ha! Brag all you want, but we don't have all that free time, unlike the two of you.
You know what you remind me of? A dog licking his wounds as he whimpers home.
Well, I guess I should be thankful for all the time you saved me. Shisha. That's how we say thanks in my country. He's definitely from this world, like, video game world's equivalent of China. Yeah, you're welcome. Also, that was Mandarin. Hope he realizes we didn't do all this for him. But I'm here now, so I'll be taking over. As I was saying, this is where the crime took place. Officer Meekins lay in wait. Lying in wait. How did Officer Meekins even know the victim was going to come here? Simple. He was investigating the kidnappers, right? And while he was doing so, we came to understand the victim, Mr. Deacon's movement. Huh. And why would a good officer want to ambush and kill a kidnapper? You mean his motive? Who knows and who cares? You can find that out for yourself when you talk to him in jail. You have no respect for the order of the law. Don't get me wrong, but I need more than there's no motive to convince me otherwise. He's right. Lack of a motive is a rather weak argument by itself. So, the officer lay in wait on top of the stage. And then victim shows up and he shoots him, so he says. So you agree with how our recreation turned out? Like I said, I'm grateful that you were able to save me some time. Except you didn't let us finish! Alright, but we still don't know why he chose to wait on top of the stage. Who cares? Maybe he wanted to become the Blue Badger. Who's to say he didn't see the stage and decide to put on a Badger stage show of his own? Maybe there's a completely different reason. What does it matter? It still doesn't change the fact that Officer Meekins stood up on that stage and shot the victim on the ground below. That's the truth our recreation showed? So, you honestly believe that what you're saying is what really occurred? Hey, you're the ones who came up with the scenario. Are you saying you doubt yourselves? I'm saying we didn't finish. Touché. Fortunately, Agent Lang's conclusions do not contradict with our recreation.
Then does that mean it all went down just as he says?
No, not quite. I wonder if what we had recreated earlier was the whole truth. Alright. Officer Meekins lay victim on top of stage. When he shot him from on high. And that's wrong. Ready? Objection! I'm terribly sorry, Agent Lang. Should have warned you that our recreation is incomplete. You cut in quite unexpectedly, after all. What's that supposed to mean? You said that the victim was shot by the killer from above, correct? I hate to break it to you, but that's not possible.
Huh? Why not?
Recall Mr. Deacon's body, specifically where the gunshot wounds were located.
Actually, I didn't get that good of a look.
Oh, well then. The bullet entered Mr. Deacon in his abdominal region and exited his right shoulder. This is more consistent with an angled shot from beneath the victim. Nah.
Then...
Yes, our recreation had the victim being shot at an angle from above.
A clear contradiction!
You're discounting your own conclusions? No. This one point is the only flaw. Hey, 21 Snakes, how's it going? How is your 2022 going so far? Hopefully very well. I'm gonna have some water real quick. Okay. This was the mistaken parameter in our recreation. Stage's location, witnesses, killer and victim's locations. Should've been flipped. Yours going good? Glad you're able to make stream? Me too! I started a little late too because I got distracted by cats. Did I find the bridge Easter egg? I don't remember. Honestly, the bridge was a while ago. I forgot. I know I looked around at everything. Oh, I did see a little Easter egg with the events for the stage show. So I was like, that's cool. That references some other games. I know. I recognize the names. But don't quite remember what they're all about. But yeah, I thought that was very cool. Anyway. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I forgot. I can't remember. The bridge was just like too long ago since I do these a week apart. During one of the investigations, you go all the way back to the bridge and there's something there. Oh. Well, shoot. I always forget that you can switch scenes around. I may have missed it then. I'll have to go back and try it again later. I will do so later. Yes, the locations of the killer and the victim were wrong. Ah, I get it. I see what you're trying to say. I believe the killer and the victim were standing opposite to what we initially thought. It was the victim who was on top of the stage as he was being shot by the killer. Whoop! Science! I love science. So cool! Yep, that makes sense. If this is what happened, it also explained the positioning of the gunshot wounds.
But then, what about the footprints?
Since footprints don't lie, we can assume then that the killer also wore a costume.
Okay, I'll try using that data instead.
Do the costumes have easy... Judging by the fact that both the killer and the victim were wearing costumes. But don't they have, like, puffy, plushy hands? Like, isn't that kind of hard to hold a gun with? Seems kind of weird. A little sus. I don't know. Like, look at this. That's not very much like a hand, and you need, like, fingers to use a gun. Very suspicious. I'd say it was a killing between the two kidnappers. That would be the most natural conclusion. Wouldn't you agree, Agent Lang? Well done, Mr. Prosecutor. But that alone doesn't clear Officer Meekins of the crime. Another bit of proof. I ask that you take another good look at the tire marks over there. The 3 marks are indicative of the Blue Badger-mobile. That story Officer Meekins told about that shop on wheels getting stolen was just a lie. He drove the Blue Badger-mobile here and committed the murder. And then he used the car to move the body to the garage in the Wild Wild West area. You believe he moved the body with the car? Possible, probable. That's right, it was Officer Meekins himself who pointed us to the way he did it. The three tired tread marks are very telling, however. Is the Blue Badger-mobile the only thing capable of creating such a pattern? What about the other cars? Aren't there 4 cars? Alright, press everything, here we go. Tire marks. Yes, the tire marks, the ones there behind the stage. Oh, okay. They were hidden up until now by the various pieces of stage equipment. As for when they were made, they must have been made after the rain had begun to fall, correct? Yes, and probably around the same time as when the killer's footprints were made. The tires on that Blue Badger-mobile probably got pretty muddy because of that. I say it's the Blue Badger-mobile because, well, that's pretty obvious too. I mean... not necessarily. 3 tire marks. I have to agree that the Blue Badger-mobile has 3 tires. Of course, the only thing in this park that could make those marks is the roving shop. You're forgetting that there are, in fact, 3 of them. Can't simply ignore the pink and the proto-badgermobiles, Agent Lang. Of course I didn't say it couldn't be either of the other two, but I see no reason to drag them into this just to complicate things. You need to look at everything! You need to look at, like, all the possibilities. You can't just be like, well, I think it was the Blue Badgers. I'm just not gonna look at the other evidence to see if it might have been one of the other two. You can't just ignore shit like that! Remember struggling with this one? Good to know. I'm not quite sure where we're going with this either, so we'll see what happens. Saying Officer Meekins was a liar when he said this vehicle got stolen. Of course you have some sort of proof that it was all a lie, correct? Bullshit to the max? Yep. Of course not!
Well, that was blunt.
But suppose it is a lie. It would explain a lot of things, like his movements and his whereabouts. That's too convenient, though! That's why you have to find proof! This man drove the Blue Badger mobile here to commit murder. So you still claim that the marks belong to the Blue Badger mobile? Must have arrived on the scene after the ground had become wet with rain. Officer Meekins committed the murder. Then he used the car to move the body. Besides the Blue Badger mobile, there were other ways the body could have been moved. Recall what the Wild Wild West area looked like.
That is the Blue Badger mobile.
Only the Blue Badger mobile and Mr. Deacon's body were in the garage. I'd say that's proof. But one of the other cars on the other side had tire tracks coming out, so that one got taken out as well. Suppose if one were to look at that place, that would be the only logical conclusion. However, my experience tells me that the truth is usually not so easily found. Is there some sort of problem with Agent Lang's statement with regard to that scene? I mean, there's no tire tracks there, because it was raining, then there should be tire tracks here, right?
Looks like the only thing that car was selling was death, not dreams.
Only if what Agent Lang believes turns out to be true. Remember doing that and being like, wait, situation feels familiar? Yeah, a little bit. The three tired tread marks are very telling, however. Like we've done this before? Maybe. Is the Blue Badgermobile the only thing capable of creating such a pattern? Indicative of Blue Badgermobile, or the other shops. With the body of the Wild Wild West area. Oh, sorry. I need to go back to that last one. To move the body to the garage in the Wild Wild West area. But aren't there... So... But how do you know which car is which? Because I would assume... He said there's only 3 cars, but shouldn't there be 4? Because there's 4 Badgers, and wouldn't 3 of those cars be blue? You know? Hold on, let's look at this. No, I want to look at the picture. Mobile shop on 3 wheels was parked inside the Wild Wild West area garage. I want to see the whole thing. There should be 4 of these. I'm pretty damn sure there were 4. Anyway, I think it's the tire tracks thing. So let's try this and see where it goes. Ready? Objection! Yes! The music stopped. That's a good sign. Sorry, Agent Lang, but that's an impossible tale. And why is that? Those tire marks could not have been left by Officer Meekins' Blue Badgermobile. One look at the car would have told you so. Oh, there's probably no mud on the tires! Am I stupid? I should have just paid attention. Because he mentioned the mud! Look how clean that is. Beautiful. What proves that the Blue Badgermobile had never been to the stadium? Lack of mud. Take a good look at the tires. Took you too long to realize this when you played? Yeah. To be fair, I was definitely thinking about the tread marks, and I would have clicked on the ground if I didn't remember that they were talking about how the tires should be fucking muddy, so... Since I remember that they said muddy tires, I'm like, hold on. Let me just click on that one. Take a good look at the tires. There's not a single dollop of mud to be found on it. This car had come to the backstage area and left those tire tracks. And the lack of mud on these tires stands out as very peculiar indeed. And that's how you then how do you explain the tracks, genius?
Hey, I've got it. What about Miss Oldbag's pink badger-mobile? Don't be ridiculous! I was sleeping the entire time in the second-tier seats!
Indeed, I believe we can rule her out as someone related to the crime. However, there's yet one more roving store, as I recall.
Oh, you mean the proto-badger?
Nightmares! Why would you make this? Who did this? Do you see this? Do you see that lag? That's so creepy. I hate this. I hate that picture. Who did this? Oh, I guess it is only 3. I guess the bandit one... Well, what? Some people want villain merchandise. I don't know. Whatever. It's fine. But that one clearly left tire marks, so that one went out. That's right. There was one more parking space inside that garage. And it proves the existence of a proto-badger mobile. Agent Lang, I suggest you find this proto-badger mobile post-haste. There must still be some sort of incriminating evidence in it. Nah.
Hey, did you hear something?
Let's take the blue badger, an already monstrous being, and get rid of its eyes. That's a fantastic idea. I know! Who did this? Who did this to us? Who at Capcom was like, let's take this thing that some people think is cute and some people think is a little terrifying and just take out its eyes. Why would you do this? It's so creepy.
Help!
Is this our kidnapped child? Help me!
Are you alright?
Well, this is something. Looks like we found our kidnapping victim. Where were you all this time? Well, West... with kidnappers. He was in the room next to the one I was held in. Ran away using underground. And got lost. The kidnappers. What is it? I can't understand what you're trying to say. The kidnappers escaped wearing costumes. Did you see the faces of your kidnappers? No, I didn't see their faces, but one was a woman. Woman? Quite an important piece of testimony. Hey, what are you guys doing? Stop standing there and get your cops on this already. I'll even let you guys have what that kid said just now. Consider it a gift. Now, are you going to get out of my crime scene or am I going to have to get rough? Ugh, again.
You're nothing but a big bully. Come on, Mr. Edgeworth, let's go.
Oh, no, not you. You're a very important witness for my case. I'm not about to let you get away that easily.
I didn't see anything. Don't count on me to testify because I won't. Not for you. That's right, I won't either. You hear me, you young whippersnapper?
Hey, calm down. There's no need for all this hostility. I just want to take a statement from each of you. I'm not going to rough either of you up. I give you my word. Come now, fair maidens. What do you say? Will you cooperate?
Fair maidens?
Oh no, he's got old bag in the bag.
My, you little rascal, you sure know the way to a woman's heart.
Lang Ji says, the passage of time is but a fleeting moment, and a lady is young forever.
Huh, trying to outdo my edgy poo with your fancy smancy sayings. Let's get this over with so we're clear. I'm only interested in giving you my statement.
Sure, just as soon as Mr. Prosecutor leaves us be.
Mr. Edgeworth!
I'll see you soon, Emma. Lang Ji says a lot of shit, apparently. Yeah, apparently so! He has a weird number of scrolls for things that Lang Ji has said. March 13th, 2:34 p.m., Wild Wild West area. More wrinkles! Oh no. 10-gallon hat.
Looks like we got the boot again.
To land's safe, the focus of this investigation will shift solely onto the murder.
You mean the infighting between the kidnappers?
See if I can go to the bridge? I will. Yes, and also the identity of the remaining kidnapper. Miles, my boy! Tell me it's true! Tell me you really found my boy! Yes, Mr. Amano. We found him earlier in the stadium.
Then my little Lance is unhurt?
He's not exactly the picture of perfect health, but his life is not in danger. He's being questioned right now by Agent Lang.
Poor Lance! It must have been so horrible for him. Locked up like a...
I'll see you guys soon. I'm gonna go skedaddle over to the bridge. What? What are you guys doing? Say that couples who cross this bridge will together will find happiness. Or so the Gatewater Land pamphlet says.
But you'd think that they'd already be happy because they were able to come together.
Logistics aside, I wonder who came up with this tale and when. This bridge doesn't look old enough to be the stuff of legends.
Well, some things are better left uninvestigated, don't you think? Ignorance is bliss.
Allow. Auto mod, don't be silly. And Eddie's gay ass talks about love. Look! It's our favorites. Why don't you call out the Phoenix? Why? Just because they're having some family time over there? Pearls looks so happy in her pixel form. Okay, I got what I wanted. That was super cool. I appreciate that. That was very cool. Alright, let's take a look-see around here. So this must be the blue Batmobile that Officer Meekins was driving. It's the crew? Hell yeah.
He said it was stolen, didn't he?
Don't tell me that you were the one who stole it.
What the heck are you talking about? I don't even have a license. It's illegal to drive a car without a license. A great thief doesn't break the law.
Okay. We need to talk about some things. So stealing's illegal. This little girl has a very odd understanding of the word law. You get stuck on like the weirdest stuff. The set of tire tracks originating from the garage.
Aha, so that means a car left in the garage at some time, right?
Correct. But for the car to leave these tracks, it would mean that it left during the passing rain. That's the only explanation as to why these tracks are made of mud. 3 treads. I think we can also safely assume it's a special type of car. Gonna be watching Ultraman Trigger? Okay. Have fun! Enjoy! And that's our cactus from Marshall. What if I talk to you guys? Mr. Edgeworth, sir! Good work, officer.
Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, I thought you wanted to talk with Mr. Amano and Miss Pops?
I do. Perhaps I should start with them before I do anything else. Fine. We'll go talk to them. 10-gallon hat saloon! Alright. Alright, let's... Oh, wait, hold on. We gotta show you our badge first. You know what this is? It's a prosecutor's badge. I'm not a bad person, and I'm not out to seduce you. Come now, won't you talk? Watch out for the nightmare proto-badger? Yeah. Not okay.
No, you're showing that to me to lord over me with how much authority you have. Well, I will not be bullied. You should be ashamed of yourself, you evil man.
I should repent in order for this woman to talk to me. Is she gonna be super uncooperative? Let's talk to her anyway.
He loves me. He loves me not. He loves me. He loves me not. Oh, that's the 12th one. No, you can't give up, Lauren. Just one more try.
Excuse me, but I can't help but feel a bit sorry for all the flowers you've gone through.
I suppose. If they were me, then...
I believe you said that you are Lance's girlfriend when we first met, correct?
Yes, I am, but... Oh, it's not like we both think of each other as lovers. But he did give me this ring, so I guess we're not just friends either? I mean, because this isn't just any ordinary ring.
It's a ring pop. It's edible. It's just candy!
It tastes so sweet when you look at... Oh, it's so wonderful.
I got some questions for this girl.
Little delusional.
You mean to tell me that he gave you a lollipop ring?
So which is it? Have you guys not decided if you're going out, or is it just one-sided?
Decided? Shouldn't the parties involved naturally just know?
My father used to work for Mr. Amano, and so Lance and I grew up together. I said it out loud!
I don't see how that's anything to be embarrassed about. So your father was an employee of the Amano Group? What did he do?
I heard his job was to fly around the world. On Pegasus.
Pegasus? What?
Oh, Pegasus was the name of the airplane. The airplane belonged to the company. You had me there for a second.
Pegasus? Yeah. Yep.
But now, it's all changed. My father, he isn't around anymore. Oh, I see. About 10 years ago, he rode in Pegasus off to somewhere and never returned.
Riding Pegasus to whereabouts unknown. Sounds like the stuff legends are made of.
It's been so long. I don't think I'd recognize him if we were to ever meet again. I'm so sorry, Lauren. I won't give in to the sadness. I have to live. Yes, Lauren, live.
Okay, girl. About this incident.
Incident? But isn't the kidnapping already over and dealt with? I've been here the whole time, so I'm afraid I don't know much about any other incident.
Do you not see the body chalk outline behind you? All the characters in this game need therapy or a hug? Yeah, very fair. How did you come to know that Lance had been kidnapped?
Oh, that's because of my woman's intuition.
You based everything on that? Did say one of the kidnappers was... Are you the other kidnapper, Lauren? You're pretty sus. Are you a kidnapper?
I know everything when it comes to my Lance. It's really strange. Really must be destiny. She started fantasizing again.
You're special. Let's talk to Mr. Amano. Mr. Amano, look at my badge! Ah, seeing that badge reminds me of Manfred. Now he was one fine prosecutor, the best of the best. Yes, I can't disagree with you there. I sense that you don't really want to talk about him. How I feel about him. It's hard for me to be truthful about that with another person. Your hard countenance. I don't know what you are thinking or feeling. But mark my words, I know that you are Manfred's true successor. I really do. I think we had that conversation before. Anyway, let's talk about you, let's talk about your son, Mr. Amano. Miles, my boy, I can't thank you enough. There's nothing. I'm still in shock over what happened to Oliver. But I have to say that I'm relieved that Lance is alright. When you think of prosecutors, you don't usually think Manfred is the best of them. Yep, very true. I don't think this guy knows what happened to Manfred and why he is kind of in prison right now. Because he was very opposite of a good prosecutor. Oh, that's right. I mustn't forget to pass this on to Lance as soon as the police are finished with him. My dear Lance Mono, may I come see you? May I come see you again, your beloved Viola? From the Tender Lender Company! Oh no. I remember Viola. She's scary. She found someone new to obsess with. A letter? So... they're definitely the Mafia. So I guess Mafia granddaughter has a crush on Lance. Ha! The way Lance is being chased after by women reminds me of someone I know. I almost can't believe you received yet another love letter, you know. Here, take a look for yourself. Isn't this a breach of confidentiality? Mafia's back? Yep. I see she still works at Tender Lender. It's a very simple love letter.
Oh? Hey, let me see. That's really weird. It's from a loan company, Tender Lender. Looks more like a collection bill to me.
About that. Viola's creepy as ever? Yeah, just a bit. Love letter data jotted down in the organizer.
So what are you gonna do now, Mr. Edgeworth?
We already established that there's a good chance that the killer is the other kidnapper. It's my duty to figure out who this other person is. I believe there's one location that might hold a clue or two. The isolation room, maybe? The place where we were held as prisoners.
Hold it! Don't let me in there with you! I can't allow you to slander my good name as a great thief by saying I was captured.
Not being able to escape from somewhere qualifies you as a caged bird, Kay.
Besides, we checked that place out pretty well while we were there, remember? Don't you think I'd be an even better idea to check somewhere else?
Perhaps you are right. What I really need right now are leads to the killer's identity. I believe there's one location that might hold a clue or two. By isolation room, I meant the room next door, but maybe Kidnappers Hideout? The obvious location is the Kidnappers Hideout.
We're still not allowed in, remember?
Agent Lang and his men should be done with this area. In that case, there's no harm in asking that officer over there to let us in. Perfect! Let's go! Excuse me, but if you could just let me through here. Sorry, I can't let anyone through. Agent Lang's orders. I suppose I'll have to deal with the impasse for now. I think it's this one, actually. But I wanted to see what the other guy was gonna say. What do you have to report? Sir! Nothing unusual or out of the ordinary, sir! Where have I heard such redundancy before? Is it possible for you to let us take a look around inside? Sir! Roger, sir! That was surprisingly hassle-free. Are you certain? Didn't Agent Lang order you not to allow me in? Sir! That's true, sir, but... Detective Gumshoe asked me to personally let you in, sir. And I couldn't refuse a request from him.
Wow, looks like Detective Gumshoe has a following.
Furthermore, I was asked to give this document to you, sir. What is this? Colin Devoret! He has a prison record? Male, dominant hand, right. Height 5'8", weight 123.45 pounds. Whereabouts unknown after escape from Pen E. Dent prison. Penny Dent. Okay, I get it. Stole a gun from a guard during his escape. We thought he might head for where his girlfriend... I don't know. Something sole daughter are... But despite our surveillance, he has yet to show up. The man in this picture, isn't this Mr. Oliver Deacon?
The name here says Colin Devoret.
That's the same name as the one on the back of the pendant. It appears that Colin Devoret was his real name. What's this? He was convicted in a case 10 years ago and sent to prison.
What? Then what was he doing here?
Apparently he broke out of jail, and then he just vanished. He must have become Oliver Deacon to cover up the fact that he was an escaped felon. Colin Devereaux dossier jotted down. Oh, wife and sole daughter. Okay. Jotted down the organizer. Now I'm not sure what's going on.
Now I'm not sure what's going on anymore.
Is there some sort of link between the victim's past and this current case? These police documents are rather detailed. I should take the time to give them a thorough read eventually. It's fine, let's focus on one thing at a time, starting with the Kidnappers Hideout.
Yeah, I agree. We should investigate first, think later.
More than thinking things through, I think you should try remembering things first. Now then, if you could please unlock the door, officer.
It was locked up until a little while ago, but since then the door's been wide open, sir.
Not sure I follow what it is you're saying. Care to explain in a bit more detail?
Sir, the door was locked down tight when they went to check out the room. So they got about 10 officers to help out and break the door down, sir.
I see. I guess that means I got Agent Lang's leftovers. Well, let's see what we find. March 13th, 2:55 p.m., Kidnappers Hideout. So, this is where the kidnappers planned their foul deed.
Well, you were tied up for a while in the room next door.
Okay, please. Must you bring that up again? Now then, down to business. There might still be some clues left in this room. Let's try to find out what we can of the other kidnapper's identity. Kidnappers Hideout, begin investigation. Let's take a look at the new piece of evidence we just got. Stole a gun from a guard during his escape. We thought he might head for where his wife and sole daughter are, but despite our surveillance, he has yet to show up. Dick Gumshoe, Ernest Amano, Lance Amano. Escaped from Kidnappers Hideout and was found at the stadium. Self-purported great thief. Shilong Lang, Sheena. Oliver Deacon, a felon named Colin Devereaux, became a Amano family butler after escape, found dead. And that's our Blue Badger. Lance Amano's girlfriend. Came to Gatewater Land in search of Lance. In the sky, she's on school break. The Pink Badger. Okay. Oh, let's take a look around.
Hey, there's a trapdoor in this room, too.
It's not a trap door, it's an entrance to an underground passage, Kay.
I know that.
The door leading to the outside world was locked, so Lance must have escaped his prison through here. Unused folding chairs lean against the wall in their folded state.
Wow, whoever lined these up did it perfectly. They're not even a single hair off. I'd feel bad using these because it'd be like stealing the perfection away.
I suspect it's more like you wouldn't want to be the one to put them away. Broken mirror?
Watch out, Mr. Edgeworth!
It's a broken mirror. It probably came from the haunted house. Why is this here? Are they planning to repair it? A sign advertising the photo rally, something I've absolutely no interest in.
Yeah, but I do, and I'm gonna get my hands on the rest of the Badger family. You'll see.
Gonna take a shower? Okay, have fun. Yeah, I'll probably still be on in like 20 minutes, I think. Possibly. Probably, actually. I think we'll still be here. Have fun. See you soon. She definitely brings a decidedly different atmosphere to a criminal investigation. Yo, Phoenix had Maya, and now you get Kay. Deal with it. I want to rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking cranny. Why are there 3 cups? Cheap styrofoam cups.
Looks like only 3 cups were used.
Why were there 3? 2 kidnappers and the victim. Was the kidnapping victim in on it? They were on top of the table. The coffee looks like it was poured today. Ooh, keys. Wonder what this key is to.
You got me.
Reminds me of the key we found in the other room.
That's it. This must be the key for one of those trapdoors.
That wasn't a trap door. You only call it one because you quite literally jumped into it.
Hey, but isn't that what you're supposed to do when you see one?
I'm not having this conversation with you. There's also 3 chairs out. Folding chairs, and by the looks of it, they were probably used by the kidnappers.
There are 3 chairs set around the table.
Three cups and 3 chairs. 3 people! Weird, right? Common denominator between the cups and the folding chairs is the number 3. Speaking of which, the number of missing costumes is also 3.
Wait, but I thought there were only 2 kidnappers.
Indeed, something isn't adding up, literally. Is it possible there's a 3rd kidnapper that Lance didn't see? No, he probably helped kidnap himself for ransom money because rich kids do stupid shit sometimes. Poster of Gatewaterland is stuck on this wall. Intrigue, fun, prestige. Gatewaterland has it all, and it's waiting for you. It's not especially catchy, is it? What? Already checked this area earlier, never hurts to take another look. Yeah, that's not what I wanted to look at, but okay. Oh. No? There we go. Beyond this door.
It's where the kidnappers held you after getting the jump on you.
Must you keep reminding me?
But it's the room where I got to see your awesome face.
You didn't need to remind me of that mortifying moment either. Whoa! Is that a badger costume? This must be where they dispose of old and worn out costumes.
That's so sad.
It would seem that they throw the costumes away in pieces. Costume pieces in the hideout, there's a trash bin for old and useless costumes. There's a hole in this one in the hand so that you could stick your hand out and use a gun. So I think this is Proto Badger, right? Or is it the bad one? Is this the bad guy? Can't remember. I'll have to look at the costumes. Hold up. No, that's not it. Which one of these had the... Oh, here we go. Bad Badger. So the Bad Badger had the gun. And no one's gonna question him having a gun because he's supposed to have one anyway as a prop, except it wasn't a prop. It was a real gun, and he cut a hand. He cut a hole in the hand so he could use a real gun, and then he shot the... I imagine it's the Proto Badger. Interesting. It's all coming together, guys. We'll figure this out yet.
They have barrels like these just outside.
Yes, and?
Well, I know I already asked you when we were out there, but if these were real, what would you put in them?
There's an expected gleam in her eyes I'm about to dash. What have we here? Is this a broken sword?
Looks like a sword. A broken sword.
Strange. Why would it be broken like that? Found lying next to the door, broken cleanly in half. Interesting. Well, that's kind of weird. Swords don't usually break on their own.
That's true.
Alright then, let's think about it in this way. Maybe it broke when someone was trying to use it for or on something. Hypotheticals aren't going to get us anywhere. Perhaps we should think more on this later. Can I go down? Trapdoor. It's not a trapdoor. It's an underground passage. This door is thoroughly broken thanks to the police who forced it open. I won't rest until I've inspected the nooks and crannies. Come on.
Looks like a sword, a broken sword.
So why would it be broken? They don't break on their own. Using it on something, that's why it would break. Think about it later. Barrels. Oh, it's just gonna be the same convos we've already had.
What would we put in them?
Dash our hopes and dreams. Alright, let's look at the door itself.
That doorknob handle thingy is looking pretty beat up.
Suppose that's what happens when 10 officers break their way in with brute force. Oh! This was probably keeping the door stuck, and then the sword broke when they busted in. But if that's how they locked it, then... yeah, I definitely think Lance was in on it, and he was just chilling here.
Hey, that's odd. The lock on this is completely fine. Look, not a single dent.
But how is that possible after what that officer told us?
Yeah, if the lock had been in use when the door was busted down, then the lock itself should be completely wrecked.
So, the lock on the door leading to the outside is undamaged. How can that be? Because the sword was keeping it locked. Alright, let's logic. Broken prop sword, door leading outside. Yep. Edgeworth's Mine Palace. It's a bit strange that the police had to force their way into an unlocked room. One look at the pristine door lock and anyone can see that it was not in use at the time.
That policeman outside said that it took 10 men to get it open.
A door that was locked tight despite it being not locked at all. It can only be because of this.
Oh, you mean...
Yes, it was used to jam the door. Here, take a look at the door handle. Do you see how the handle is completely destroyed?
So that's how the sword broke.
Broken prop sword jotted down in my organizer. Thought that we might uncover the true identity of the kidnappers. But instead, we've only uncovered more questions that need to be answered. Whoa! That's not okay! This is not okay! As correct, Kay. That's the correct response to this situation. This is fucking nightmares. What is it?
Well, Mr. Edgeworth.
Sorry.
Well, Mr. Edgeworth, am I correct?
What are you doing suddenly popping out of the secret entrance like that?
This is an underground passage used by staff members, sir. We Badgers also make use of it in our duties. Look, why don't you get out of there first and then we'll talk, okay?
Please take off your damn head. That's fucking creepy.
I beg your pardon, miss. Proto-Badger, get! All right, only one more to go.
What are you getting all excited about?
Did you forget? The photo rally, duh. See? Look, now all I have to do is get a picture of the Bad Badger and I'm done.
Ah, yes. I vaguely recall a contest or something of that sort.
What? It's gone! But where did it go?
What happened? What's wrong?
Bad Badger costume is missing, sir. Oh, is that all? Well, it's missing because the kidnappers stole it. I heard about how they were stolen, but they said that only 3 of the costumes had been taken.
What? Is he saying that more than 3 of them are gone? Mr. Proto-Badger, please tell me a little more about these costumes you use. Tell me more. Let's have some words. What do you mean by a Bad Badger costume is missing?
Why, just what I said, sir. We are 1 Bad Badger short. Counting the spares, we have 2 of each costume on hand at all times. Okay, so because one of them is walking around in the park...
The other should be in that room.
Actually both of them should be in that room. Huh? What do you mean? Normally we don't use the Bad Badger costumes. In fact, we only use them during a certain event at a set time each day. It's a stage show where the Bad Badger wreaks havoc around the park. And the other Badgers must work together to apprehend him, sir.
I'm speechless that such a show exists.
Well, sir, I was just trying to explain to you that the only time we use that costume... Doesn't that make it near impossible to take a picture of the Bad Badger? Personally, I can't believe that it's this close to showtime and there's no costume. Oh dear, what am I to do, sir?
All this basically means is that the kidnappers stole 4 costumes in total.
Then, are you saying that there are 4 kidnappers?
No, I don't think that's very likely.
Oh?
Call the costumes for a minute.
Stolen ones, you mean?
What proves that a fourth kidnapper did not exist? The fact that there's still this pink badger right here. Because this one's out and about, and that's Wendy. And then, you know, presumably the other ones are also out and about. Well, hold on. So these two would be out and about. And these two should have both been here. So there's... yeah, there are still 4 missing costumes, though. Okay. If you had 4 people and you had wanted to steal a 4th costume, wouldn't you naturally go for the full set and steal a pink badger costume instead?
Yeah, that makes sense.
And yet, the kidnappers decided to steal another bad badger. I believe the culprits needed 2 bad badger costumes. The question is, why? Unaccounted for bad badger, and then costume pieces. Well, let's talk to you first. I was wondering if you don't mind. Mr. Proto-Badger, how did you know my name?
You're pretty famous, sir. I would think that most people would know who you are.
Famous? Me?
Absolutely, sir. You're always very active in the community, I hear. Wow, I didn't know you were such a celebrity, Mr. Edgeworth.
I feel like I've met this person before. Maybe it's just my imagination. Absolutely. Is this the bellhop from Gatewater? Because he said absolutely. Maybe.
Yes,
what do you think about the Kidnappers Hideout? So, this is the room next to the one we were held prisoners in.
You know, I took a peek in here through the door from the other room.
As did I, Kay. Anyway, if the room was truly the Kidnappers Hideout...
And that means there should be some clues to their identities here, right?
I don't know if there are, however, the probability is quite high. I believe a thorough combing of this room is necessary. I just want to see what she said to that. Alright, logic time. Boop. Second badger costume. I believe it may be closer at hand than we think.
What do you mean?
That's it, right there. That costume in the trash. Wouldn't you say that it's wearing some very telltale pants?
Hey, you're right. Let's get it out of there and take a look.
As I suspected, it's a bad badger costume.
Well, minus the head.
I want to rest until I've inspected nook and crannies again. Again with the nooks and the crannies.
Look, its hand is hurt.
Looks more like something was ripped out of it, off of it. That'd be the gun. Wonder why this bad badger costume's right hand is torn up like that.
Maybe it's a flesh wound from a fight with a blue badger. I always knew the blue badger was one ferocious beast.
I somehow doubt that even real badgers are as bloodthirsty as Kay. I want us to deduce, so we will deduce. The guide! Boop! I believe what we have here is an inconsistency.
Between what?
Look carefully. Our costume is not holding something that it should. Something in its right hand that it should be.
Oh, the gun!
Precisely. The bad badger was designed to always hold a gun in his right hand. However, you there, did you remove the gun from this bad badger's right hand?
No, I did not, sir. The gun is supposed to be securely attached to the costume.
As I thought. The rip itself confirms my hypothesis that the gun was forcibly removed. Mr. Proto-Badger, the gun is, of course, not a functioning weapon, correct?
Absolutely not, sir. It's just a model gun. However, it can fire blanks. We need to use them for the stage show.
It seems that our kidnappers also had a need for the model gun, my dear costumed friend. Missing model gun data jotted down in the organizer. Investigation complete. Perfect. I think we're about done with this room.
So what's next?
Well, we found a few answers, but there are still a few things left that we have to ask a certain person about. Let's go, Kay. March 13th, 3:34 p.m., Wild Wild West area. Mr. Edgeworth, sir! Gotta hurry, sir! Come on! What is it, detective? Are we gonna go see Phoenix and Maya? Just kidding. And Pearls. I found a blue badger costume down in front of the main gate, sir! What?
Isn't that what one of the kidnappers is wearing?
Bingo! That's why you've gotta come to the main gate with me right now! If we hurry, we still might be able to get there before Wolfboy does, sir. Alright, let's make haste to the main gate. Thanks for the salute, buddy. I saw that. Salute to you, too. We'll go one more round. We'll keep going a little longer. Although, hold up. Before that, I need to check something real fast. Need to see what's going on with my FC. It sounds like they want to do stuff, but I want to go one more round. So we'll go a little bit longer before we call it, because I would like to get a little farther into this case. March 13th, 3:45 p.m. Gatewater Land Main Gate. Where's the costume, Detective Gumshoe? Is that the original one? Oh, it's even got the little broken bit. This is the original Blue Badger. That's cute. Just on the other side of the fountain, sir. Yep, that is indeed a, Yep, that's a Blue Badger. Oh, look at this. Was it out here in the open all along? What's this necklace? Now it was discovered in the tall grass back there. We moved it out here in order to examine it more thoroughly. Then let's get down to it. We won't rest in more of the nook and cranny shit. What's this? What do we have here?
Oh, it's another pendant. That's 2 treasures in one day. How lucky is that? Hey, this pretty baby's made of platinum silver too.
Another pendant on top of the one we found on Mr. Deacon. Is it possible that these two... Hold it right there! I knew it. Hands off, Mr. Prosecutor. You sure know how to cross the line, don't you? Ugh. Pendant, huh? This is a very decisive piece of evidence. How can you tell? Look here and read off what you see. Lauren.
Lauren? Hey, it's a name that's engraved on this.
Your last name is probably not actually Pulse. That's possibly your mother's maiden name. She's the daughter, I bet. So, okay. Theory crafting. Yep, she's probably Lauren Deacon. Okay, so theory crafting. Father always was an employee for Mr. Romano. He probably was the employee working on the Pegasus, presumed dead. Then came back, committed some. Probably went like no. He didn't get presumed dead. He probably got. That's probably when he got thrown in prison. And then mom just lied to daughter because she was like, I don't want to tell you that your father's a felon. He gets out. He gets his job back with Mr. Romano. And then reconnects with his daughter. Although she may not know that it's him. Although he did have the necklace. Interesting. Maybe she shot him because she was like, you abandoned me. I don't know. But that's interesting. This Pop's pendant data jotted down the organizer. We didn't even figure out that it was hers yet, but clearly it is. Ha! Have you now, Miss Kidnapper?
No, you don't understand.
Lolly, I can't believe you were one of my kidnappers. I bet you were in on it too.
Clients. You're kidding! Miss Pulse is one of the kidnappers? Yes. It was me. I held Lance hostage.
So, Miss Pulps is one of the kidnappers. But even knowing that, I can't call this case solved or over. Hey, guys! Case closed. Get the car ready, and I mean the special one for this young lady. Again, Mr. Prosecutor. What is it this time? Are you proposing that Miss Pulse is also the culprit in the murder case? What happened? I thought Officer Meekins was your suspect. Ha! We found it. Found what? That officer's gun. He literally dropped in the middle of a thick patch of grass. Your country's police are a sham. Just look at how careless they are. How are you calling a sham? The officer's gun didn't show signs of having been fired, so it can't be the murder weapon. So, Officer Meekins has been cleared of all charges, I see. And that's when a brand new suspect comes walking onto the scene. The murder only happened because the kidnappers started fighting amongst themselves. As I recall, it was you who said that, right, Mr. Prosecutor?
Miss Pulse, did you really kill Mr. Deacon? Yes, I killed him. I can't believe it.
Thanks for the confession. Agent Lang, it's much too early to declare this case closed. Hey, welcome back, 21 Snakes. So we found our lady culprit. Her pendant says Lauren D. Pretty sure that means Deacon. Pretty sure she's Oliver Deacon's daughter. Look at you, so sure of yourself. We've got the culprit's own confession and some very incriminating evidence. What more could you ask for? Miss Lauren Pulse.
Yes?
Want to hear it from you. Tell me your side of all that has happened today, from the kidnapping to the murder.
But why? I'm a kidnapper and the killer. Isn't that enough?
Don't cut your hair! Holy shit! It's fine if you're the one behind everything, but only if that is the truth. Now then, will you tell us the truth? Or is there some reason why you can't? I've had a change of heart. Think I'd enjoy seeing you sulk away as the losing mutt. Alright, you heard me. Let's hear all about the evil deeds you committed today. Miss Pope's confession. Is she just trying to protect Lance because he probably helped stage his own damn kidnapping?
The one who came up with the kidnapping plan was the butler, Mr. Deacon. We knew that we could get rich by holding Lance hostage. Mr. Amano would pay anything to get his son back after all. Everything was going according to plan, but as soon as we got the money, Mr. Deacon turned on me and tried to kill me.
There, you satisfied? She just confessed to her crimes a second time. At least you have the guts to admit what you've done. I can at least respect that much. Miss Pulse, is what you said really the truth?
Yes, it is.
If that is the truth, it certainly isn't the whole truth. Because there is something that seems a bit too improbable in her confession. You look super sussy. Mr. Deacon came up with the plan. How well did you know the victim?
I've spoken with him only a few times at Lance's house.
A few times? That's it?
Yes.
They only met a few times. I don't see how they could have trusted each other.
But if you hardly ever talk, then how could he trust you not to steal his plan?
That's completely irrelevant. He was planning to betray her from the very beginning, which is why he chose someone he wasn't especially close to. Oh, I wouldn't say that. They've got matching pendants. Isn't that right, Sheena?
Yes. However, Mr. Deacon made a very poor choice. In the end, he was killed by the one he intended to betray himself.
Ha! I bet he didn't see that one coming. You know, they get rich by holding lands hostage. You knew. How do you know something like that?
Oh no! What should I do?
Okay, what's wrong with her now?
Come on, isn't it obvious? You're making your scary face again, that's why. Why don't you try asking her a nicer, a more gentle way?
Hmm.
No, stop it, Lauren. You're always like this. You always fall for the stern-looking one. That's why you'll always be unhappy. Or maybe that's it. She's been bewitched by your icy glare.
Oh, another Edgeworth fan. First Wendy Oldbag, and now it's her. Mind your own business, Kay. Now then, Miss Pope. Pops, I don't know how to say your last name. Let's continue with your testimony.
Oh, yes, of course.
Mr. Amano would pay anything to get his son back. Why did you believe that?
Anyone who knows Mr. Amano would think the same. I bet Lance is that old man's greatest treasure.
I suppose he would be a bit like a doting... Sorry, I suppose he would be to a doting father like Mr. Amano.
I always figured that was it, too. And I was always envious of Lance for it. Oh, because your dad's... I got this pendant from my father. And I believe that as long as I have this, I'll find my father again someday. He'll welcome me into his arms, riding on the back of Pegasus.
That pendant. She must truly believe it to be the wings of a Pegasus. Everything was going according to plan. Would you mind telling us a little about the plan itself?
Well, first we captured Lance. Ooh, how did you do that? Well, Mr. Deacon...
Ace with so many axes! Thanks so much for the follow! I hope you're having fun. Hope you're having a wonderful start to 2022.
Well, Mr. Deacon did that on his own, so I don't quite know. And here I thought you knew how to steal people away.
I shudder to think what she would do with such knowledge. We need to stop teaching Kay shady things. She's gonna be a little too scary of a super thief.
Sorry, I really don't know, but somehow Mr. Deacon was able to contain him. All we had to do after that was wait for the ransom to be paid, but...
And then Mr. Deacon turned out he would never kill her! Totally his daughter, I believe it. That's why they have the matching pendant thing going on. Why do you think he did?
I have no idea, but maybe he had planned on doing so from the very beginning. Miss Pope...
Wait, Mr. Deacon planned to kill Miss Pope from the very beginning? Was that ever really likely to happen? What should I do? Should I raise an objection? Yeah, raise an objection. I'm sorry, but I don't think what you just claimed is all that likely.
Huh?
I don't think Mr. Deacon would have ever been capable of killing you.
But why? We were total strangers. It's not uncommon for people to kill each other over money.
Miss Pulps, you really are clueless, aren't you?
What do you mean?
You never knew what your role in the kidnapping was, nor do you know who you really are. But I do, and I can show you with this piece of evidence. This proves that Mr. Deacon wouldn't have been able to bring himself to kill Miss Pulps. The pendant! Colin Deveray. Oh, her last name must be her real last name is Deveray. I bet Pulps is the mother's last name, so... When Colin Deveray got carted off to prison, she was like, oh yeah, he flew away on the Pegasus and is, like, gone forever. Anyway.
Why are you showing this to me?
So, what about the pendant? This horse pendant, along with this piece of evidence, shows who you really are. The other pendant. These two pendants resemble each other, wouldn't you agree?
Hey, you're right! They're the same color and they're even made of the same material.
I believe that these two pendants are actually one.
Huh?
Shall we give it a try? Look at that, it's totally a Pegasus.
Wow, it's totally a Pegasus. But why? Why does my pendant match up with Mr. Deacon's?
You're a smart lady. I'm sure you can imagine why that might be.
No! That can't be!
So, the two make a set. It's just another trinket. It's not as though this changes anything. No, it changes a lot. You lack imagination, Agent Lang. Very well. I'll show you with this evidence. And this is the piece of evidence that gives meaning to the Pegasus pendant. This dossier. Looking for his wife and daughter. Oliver Deacon was just an alias for this man. His real name was Colin Deveray, the name that is etched on the horse pendant. What? An alias? Suppose he had to hide the fact that he was a felon somehow in order to live. And it makes sense given what is written on Mr. Deveray's dossier. But what I really wanted to point out was this. This specific section is what reveals the true meaning behind the pendant. Wife and sole daughter. Mr. Deveray had one daughter, and her name is Lauren Pulse.
That's a lie! That person was not my father!
He couldn't come out and tell you he was your father, because he was in hiding. However, I believe he was trying to secretly watch over you. Ooh. Do you still believe that a man like that could kill the daughter he was separated from? Or even that such a man would allow his daughter to get involved in a kidnapping plot? What is so funny, Agent Lang? You're good at making things up in your head and deciding its truth, aren't you? No, I would say that about you. We're looking at facts and logic because Edgeworth loves logic. What are you trying to say? Your thinking is much too innocent. After all, I've thought of another possibility. Is that so? Well, let's hear it. Oh, testimony time. Okay. Another possibility. I'm gonna drive a truck through the little holes in his logic. I'll grant you that the two of them are father and daughter, but isn't it possible that they both knew that fact? It was no coincidence that the reunited pair became involved in the House of Amano, and the two of them made good use of their meetings to plan this little kidnapping. Chiriko, don't mute me. Don't do it. Wouldn't you say my scenario is perfectly probable as well? So, this is his version of how things might have happened. Edgeworth's power in this game is literally just logic. That's how powerful he is. Yeah, he doesn't need superpowers. He just needs his logic. You don't have any proof that either one didn't know their true relationship, right?
You mean they knowingly committed the kidnapping as father and daughter?
That's right, as one really rotten family. Is that really what happened? I'd better take a long, hard look at the evidence. Victim's costume. Despite our surveillance, he has yet to show up. I don't know if they would know that. Found at the main gate. Ooh, can we look at the other pendant? Hold on, I don't think I've looked at that one yet. In more detail. That's just a picture of the broken sword. Okay, so in this one, we can now look at, examine this. Lauren D is engraved into this pendant.
I see that they wrote out her first name, but why just the D?
Maybe it's the result of poor planning.
I guess. Well, at least if I had to shorten my name, I could make it K. Faraday. That way, even if you just sounded it out, it'd still say my name, K. Faraday.
Suppose if I had to do the same, I would rather it be abbreviated as M. Edgeworth.
Hold on, I think you should abbreviate it as M.E., get it?
Who would have thought that this little pendant could start such a strange conversation? That conversation was worth it, though. Okay. Another possibility. Press everything! Precisely. And what father would ever willingly kill his own daughter? I've seen a lot of things in my travels, and I can tell you that being related by blood is sometimes proof of nothing. They both knew. Think they knew? Yeah, I don't think only the victim knew. I think the girl realized it as well. They both knew who the other person was, but they had to pretend they didn't. Because he was on the lam. You got it. The victim couldn't exactly go around flaunting who he was. Furthermore, no coincidence that they reunited that the reunited pair became involved in the House of Amano. One is the butler, and one is the friend of the son, you mean? They probably thought that was the best shot. Is that what you honestly believe? Of course! Good use of their meetings to plan the kidnapping, but they hardly talked, supposedly. You mean how they plotted to commit this crime as blood relatives? Can you think of a better partner? They're certainly a clever pair. The butler and the girlfriend. No one would ever suspect that they were, in fact, family. Yes, from the very beginning, they painstakingly practiced those roles well. I believe you're being a bit too overconfident for someone with no evidence. Am I? Because I don't see you presenting any evidence to the contrary. Without evidence to counter him, we're stuck at a draw. Agent Lang isn't wrong. His scenario is certainly a probable one.
You'd better hurry up and do something, or Lauren's gonna wind up looking really bad.
No, but first things first. Is Agent Lang's line of logic factually correct? Did the two of them really knowingly commit the crime as father and daughter? Is it possible that they both knew? No coincidence that they became involved in the House of Amano. They made good use of their meetings to plan this little kidnapping. I don't think they would have met much because then people would have noticed. Head was left in the isolation room. Is it this? So we thought he might head for where his wife and sole daughter are, but despite our surveillance, he's yet to show up. So they were watching the daughter. They would have noticed if he showed up there. They weren't watching Lance. Is this the one, though? I don't know. We're gonna try it, though. Objection! Damn it, not it. Not this piece of evidence. Not so fast. Yeah. I know. Lang Ji says, confidence is like a soul, and words without confidence are but empty shells. You shouldn't waste your breath on words you have no confidence in, Mr. Prosecutor. Although it's just as bad as to say something in full confidence and be wrong. Ugh.
Are you gonna let him lecture you about your self-confidence like that?
Not so fast, yeah. I don't need to be overflowing with self-confidence, I just need to think rationally. After all, I only need to be confident in the facts. Made good use of their meetings. When did they have time to meet? Just in case I screw up a lot, because I'm like, this is going to be a toughie for me. Would you say that it's plausible? I can't present anything other than the evidence, so... While it wasn't the dossier, United Pierre became involved in the House of Amano. But they were watching to see if he would turn up. I mean, no coincidence that they became involved in the House of Amano. Like, that's true. Gunshot wound. Deveray engraved in the back. Lauren P's engraved on the back? No, it doesn't say P though. Isn't that a D? That's definitely a D. Interesting. Ripped battery costume. They've been doing surveillance. Should I just try this on different pieces of the testimony? This is the only thing I could think of, though. You know. Lance, can I see you again? Creepy Viola. Well, I guess we'll try it. Yeah, that's not it. Okay. Very big flaw in your logic. Flaw? Are you sure it's not your eyes that are flawed? Talk to me again when you can see straight. Yeah, maybe this wasn't the place I was looking for after all. Isn't it possible that they both knew about the fact? I guess we'll just keep trying it and see if they get a different reaction anywhere else. I don't know what else it would be. That thing has nothing to do with what I was saying. Now put it away, and your logic is so badly in need of repair that you might as well throw it out too. This is the real deal here. Your courtroom mannerisms are worthless at a crime scene. Dare insult the courtroom? How did they both know? No coincidence that they were involved in the House of Amano. I don't know. Good use of their meetings to plan the kidnapping. Wouldn't you say my scenario is perfectly probable as well? I mean, it's just a flat pendant. What could it be? How would they know that they were each other were father and daughter? It's shaped like a horse. It's shaped like a pair of wings, Lauren P's engraved on the back. They knowingly... The map's not gonna help us with this. Head was left in the isolation room. Pending autopsy, age 50. Made good use of their meetings to plan this little kidnapping, but they were... This one's tough. I don't know what to use. Because the only thing I can think of is that he was under surveillance. I guess I haven't tried it on the last statement yet. This is probably gonna be wrong, but we'll... Yeah. I just wanted to make sure it really isn't that. Two of them made good use of their meetings. I guess we'll go back and press stuff. Plot to commit the crime as blood relatives. The butler and the girlfriend. No one would suspect that they were in fact family. No coincidence the reunited pair became involved in the house of Amano. One's the butler and one's the friend of the son. Thought that was their best shot. Is that what you honestly think? No coincidence they became reunited pair became involved in the house of Amano. My dear Lance Amano, may I come see you again, your beloved Viola. Made good use of their meetings to make the plan happen. That, I guess, something with the letter. Became involved in the house of Amano. I mean, that's the only other thing. But what are the implications of this letter? Malone Company? Was he in debt? Was Lance in debt? Two of them made good use of their meetings to plan the little kidnapping. I guess we'll try throwing this letter out at things and then see what sticks. Kind of like how we did with the dossier. Yeah. No coincidence. Two of them made use of their meetings. Real deal. No, he's like, stop bluffing, and I'm like, bluffing's all I got, pal! Wouldn't you say is there scenarios? The two of them. Wait, the two of them. But there were three. It's the fact that there were three of them, wasn't there? Objection. Yep, it's the fact that there were three of them! I gotta pick up on the number. Oh my, at least I got there eventually. It just took me a long time. I'm stupid sometimes. Okay. This kidnapping wasn't planned by just two people alone. And what kind of proof do you have of that? Quite simply, there were three kidnappers. Three! Yeah, there I go. I was a little slow, but I got there eventually. 4 costumes were stolen from the Wild Wild West area's back room. You know, if I just thought about what the things that the clues that the game was giving us, I probably would have got here faster. But I was just like, I don't know what you're trying to get me to prove. I was too focused on the father and daughter thing that I forgot about the numbers problem that we were having. Anyway, we found one of them in the Kidnappers Hideout, but as for the other 3, we can assume they were being worn by 3 different people. We also found a set of 3 cups and 3 folding chairs that were used in the hideout. It all clearly points to a 3-man group, and I believe this 3rd person is the real mastermind behind the kidnapping. Who? Who is this mastermind? I present to you the brains behind the kidnapping. Lance. Oh wait, hold on, where were you? Oh, there you are. He's in debt! Tender lender. Lance Amano! Yeah. Yes, this abduction was, in fact, schemed up by Lance himself. Recall what he said when he appeared before us. Did you see the faces of your kidnappers? No, I didn't see their faces, but one was a woman. However, there were 3 kidnappers, which is in direct contradiction to what he said. But I know I only saw 2 people. This guy was being held hostage. It's possible he couldn't see all 3 of them. Yes. About when you were being held, I have my doubts about what happened then. Lance, would you mind telling us what happened while you were being held captive? I really don't remember much anymore. Honest. But if I don't tell you at least something, you won't believe me at all, will you? Lance's testimony! I was kidnapped yesterday morning. They had me shut in that room, blindfolded the entire time. But the kidnappers suddenly disappeared around the time I heard rain falling outside. My hands were cuffed, but it was a stroke of luck that they left me alone. I made my escape and ran away from that room as fast as I could. Through the underground passageway, I presume. Are you okay? Sorry, I really didn't want to recall that horrible ordeal, but now you believe me, right? No, not quite yet. Ah, how can you not? Why do you look at me with icy daggers in your eyes? Because he's a prosecutor and because they're all like that. Not wrong. Have you know, Agent Lang, a prosecutor's eyes are for discerning the truth. Last her name's Manfred. And should they be interpreted to be cruel at times, then so be it. There's a sticking point in Lance's testimony. Let's see what he offers up when I push a little. What? Press everything? Sure, that's my favorite thing to do. Kidnapped yesterday morning. Can you tell us about when you were abducted in a little more detail? It was a strange morning. I felt like I was right in the middle of a great calm. And where were you when you experienced this calm? Our family garden, of course. Where else could it have been? Well, excuse me for asking. This child is more princess than prince. I was out taking a walk to shake off the morning blah. Then, out of the blue, someone from behind clamps a hand over my mouth. You didn't see your attacker? They must have used some drug to knock me out. Because before I knew it, I was off in La La Land again. When I woke up, I was in the Kidnappers Hideout already, all tied up. Shut in that room, blindfolded the entire time. By that room, you mean the room in the Kidnappers Hideout, correct? Yes, but I was blindfolded the whole time, so I didn't know that until I made my escape. Then you were in the same room as your kidnappers? They spoke in hushed tones, but I could catch bits of their conversation. It was definitely 2 people, and one of them was definitely a woman. I was so scared. I could tell they were nearby, so I didn't dare make a move. Kidnappers disappeared when he heard rain falling outside. The kidnappers disappeared. The room fell into a sudden silence. I had been left behind like an unwanted mutt. And what do you mean by unwanted mutt?
What a pointless question. It's not like he's going to tell you anything new, you know.
It's a poetic simile. You should learn how to use them too. You may look refined on the outside. But it's no good if you're not refined on the inside as well. Left him alone, hands were cuffed. And then, those cuffs on your wrists. Suppose you are still cuffed in that case. I am well aware of how I am chained to reality. I couldn't find the key, so I'm afraid that I'm stuck like this. Even though I escaped from that jail cell, I'll forever be a prisoner. He made him escape and then ran. How did you manage to escape? I wanted to just get out of there, but the door leading outside was locked. Which is why I had to use the underground passageway to make my escape. I remember our escape to be equally as hard. This is an invaluable piece of testimony. Mustn't let it go unexamined. Except the door wasn't locked, it was just blocked by a sword, which can only be done from the inside. The door leading outside was locked tight, so I had to use the underground passageway. Bullshit. By underground passageway, you mean the one the staff uses to travel unnoticed? I suppose that's what it's for, but I didn't run into any staff members on my way out. And once I was up top, I was busy trying to find a member of the police. And that is when you found us congregated at the stadium, I suppose. Let me ask you then, how did you get a hold of the key to the underground door? That was easy. It was hanging right there in the room on the wall. Do you recall a key hanging on the wall right beside the table?
Why does that bring back memories of our situation and how we made our escape?
Indeed, although the door in the floor of our room led to an underground room. The door in the floor of the room next door had a secret passageway.
Secret passageway under a theme park. Ooh, that sounds... Sorry. That just sounds so... Ooh, that just sounds like so much fun. That took me a second, sorry.
I wonder, is there something off about the way Lance made his escape? Yep. Hands were cuffed, made escape and ran away as fast as he could. Door leading outside was locked tight. That's bullshit. Look at this sword. This was used to jam the handle to the hideout's door. Ready? Objection! You say that the door leading out was locked, but was it really? Ooh, look at him! Look at him turn. We're talking about that room behind the saloon front, right? Look, I heard that it took quite a few men to get that thing open. Right, Sheena?
Yes, that's correct.
And then, take a look at this. What is that? Sword? It's not especially reliable one if it's broken like that. Allow me to start from the end. My conclusion is that the door was never locked. It was simply held shut by the sword, which was used to jam the handle. And even though your hands were cuffed together, you could still use them. Does that mean the door's meant to be The only way this could work is if the door from this end, you push it. And so from the other side, you have to try to pull the door open. Yeah, because if they could just push it from the other side because it's unlocked, then this wouldn't do anything. Unless there was something else here for it to be stuck onto. So this has to be a door that only swings the other, like, outward. Lance, even though your hands were cuffed together, you could still use them. If that's the case, then why did you not just simply remove the sword and escape?
Why didn't I? I was disoriented. Yes, that's it. I didn't notice it.
As if I should accept such a bold-faced lie. You locked yourself in that room because you had to make yourself look like the victim. But if you did not, in fact, possess the key to the door, that is why you used the prop sword to improvise and create a prison of your very own. You've been making this guy out to be one of the kidnappers for some time now. I wonder if you've forgotten something very important along the way. What would that be? A motive? What else? Do you honestly think that an upright, pure boy like... An upright, pure boy like him, he's not pure. would hatch up a completely pointless scheme such as kidnapping himself. Yeah, he's in debt to the scary lady. And this proves that Lance did indeed have a motive to commit the crime. Scary lady! Put it simply, Lance is in very urgent need for money. This is hardly your typical love letter. It is in fact a collections bill. It appears our upstanding boy has accumulated quite a debt. Isn't that right, Lance?
Looks like it's hard being the son of a rich man, too. It must be rough when you have to resort to stealing from your own old man, huh?
Alright, I give up. I abducted myself.
Lance!
It's over, Lolly. In this life, we rarely are bound to our fates after all. All I wanted was to go with you to a new town, somewhere where no one would know us. I wanted us to be well off with that $1 million, but now that dream is over.
Oh, Lance!
And then you're giving yourself up.
Yes,
I had planned to run away from this world with my Lolly. Oliver even helped us with the plan, but then he had to go and stab us in the back. Turned on you. Maybe he didn't want to split the ransom money, that's my guess. Happened almost right after you made the drop-off. When we were alone, he attacked me all of a sudden. After a brief struggle, I was able to contain him and keep him under control. We left him inside that room as Lolly and I made our escape. We wore different costumes and split up. Lolly left first in the blue badger costume. That would mean the person Officer Meekins saw was Miss Pope's. But right then, the old man just had to wake up. I was careless and he tackled me pretty hard from behind. Then Oliver put on a bad badger costume, took the suitcase with the $1 million and ran. I contacted Lolly right away and warned her that he had a gun. They had no idea that they were related, so I thought it could only end badly.
I still don't believe it. That person was not my father. Because if he was, I just killed my own father!
Lolly, then it really was you. Oh dear. Chain of events. What happened?
That man was not my father. I mean, because at the stadium, there was a bad badger pulling the suitcase with the $1 million in it. But that badger pointed his gun at me, aiming to shoot me dead. That's why I used the gun I got from Lance. There was a gunshot. The other person crumbled to the ground, and I ran, scared for my life.
I think the big picture is finally coming into focus, don't you?
Lolly, forgive me. I didn't think it would turn into something so frightening. If only I could have protected you. So, Miss Pope, she shot her own dad without even knowing who he really was?
If what she says is true.
You saying she's lying? But why would she lie about something like that? What purpose would it serve?
She's trying to protect Lance. You'd be surprised how often people lie without even realizing it themselves, Kay. Oh. Did she not actually kill him and then Lance came up and killed him?
Huh? What's that supposed to mean?
What I mean is, listen very carefully to her confession once more, and you'll see. Please, tell me more.
At the stadium.
Please calm down and let's slowly talk through this.
But
All you have to do is simply tell us what happened at the stadium. Leave it to us to search out the truth. Can you do that for me?
Alright, so, at the stadium.
Bad badger pulling the suitcase. And that was the ransom money, wasn't it?
Yes, that's how I was able to identify Mr. Deacon almost immediately. It was all thanks to what Lance told me.
And what did he tell you?
Well, he called me on my cell phone and told me that Mr. Deacon had betrayed us and had run off with the ransom money. And about how he had a gun.
So, what if Lance is the one who tried to turn on them? And he was trying to... I don't know. I don't know yet. I'm still thinking about this. Bad Badger pointed the gun. Bad Badger probably had a fake gun. Were you able to clearly see the gun?
Yes, I got a very good look at it while it was pointed at me. Oh, Father, why would you try to shoot me?
You really think a father would shoot his own daughter, Mr. Edgeworth? I don't know.
I don't want to believe it myself, but it's true. But it's true. My father's left arm was raised with a gun in it.
Isn't he right-handed? Yep, he's right-handed. That ain't right.
Pointed straight at me. I'm about to die, I thought.
Miss Poe, please calm down and take a deep breath. And then would you allow me to please hear that last statement one more time?
Yes, of course.
But that badger
pointed the gun in his left hand at me, aiming to shoot me dead.
Yeah, I know that's the wrong one, but we're gonna press it anyway because I want to get my dialogue. And you felt that your life was in danger, correct?
Yes, I'm about to die, I thought. So... That's why I used the gun
She got from Lance. Okay, yeah. You shot Mr. Deacon.
Miss Poe.
Where would Lance have even gotten a gun? He probably used the fake from the Badger costume.
Yes, I shot him.
And that, as they say, is that. Agent Lang, Miss Poe is far from done. She hasn't even finished her testimony yet. You're going to continue with questioning her? What a waste of time. Miss Poe, if you would please.
All right.
Gunshot, other person fell, she ran. Did you take off immediately following the gunshot?
Yes.
And you didn't attempt to approach the victim at all after he was shot?
I was scared.
I don't blame you. I would have done the exact same thing.
Poor Miss Poe. What will become of her, Mr. Edgeworth?
She seems to be telling the truth regarding what happened at the stadium. However, I don't believe it to be absolutely correct. Listen very carefully to her confession once more and you'll see. Yeah, he's not left-handed. Badger pointed the gun in his left hand. But he was right-handed. Here we go. Objection! I have here a dossier on your father. And according to this, your father was right-handed.
Then...
The person pointing a gun at you from atop the stage was not Mr. Deacon. Hold on there, Mr. Prosecutor. Think you need to take a refresher course. The Bad Badger has a model gun attached to his right hand, which is why the only hand he could have held the real gun with was his left. Isn't it possible that it went down like that? Agent Lang, were you paying attention to what Miss Poe was saying? Then again, I suppose I can't expect someone who has never set foot in court to catch it. Enough with the smugness! Out with it already! He is sweating! Miss Pope told us earlier.
There was a Bad Badger pulling the suitcase with the $1 million in it.
According to you, the Bad Badger had the gun in his left hand, which would mean that he was pulling the suitcase with his right hand. Is that correct, Miss Poe?
Yes, exactly. And I'm sure it was the Bad Badger. It had those huge sunglasses on its face.
But if that's the case, even I can see there's a huge contradiction. Yes, Miss Poe claims to have seen the Bad Badger, and yet the Bad Badger had both of his hands full. These two pieces of information contradict each other, so one must be wrong. It wasn't the Bad Badger. Both hands were not occupied. Just in case, let's just go ahead and save. It wasn't the Bad Badger. Yeah, because the Bad Badger head was left behind. I mean, yeah, they could have just mixed and matched the pieces. Both hands were not occupied. Or because the costume was... The gun was ripped out of the right hand. No, both hands were occupied though, because she saw it, so it doesn't matter that the thing was attached. Wasn't the Bad Badger? What if both were correct? There's two So one must be wrong. Both hands were not occupied. The hands had to have been occupied, because that's what she saw. Maybe it was actually the Proto-Badger, because it's... Proto-Badger does have creepy eyes. Maybe it wasn't the Bad Badger. Miss Poe, what you saw was not the Bad Badger. Think back and recall which character was it that leveled a gun at you.
But it was wearing a pair of sunglasses and it had that strange blue beard. That sums up the Bad Badger pretty well, I'd say.
Too bad for you, but it looks like the Bad Badger wasn't the mistake here. Need to think carefully about the facts here. Miss Poe claims to have seen the Bad Badger, and yet the Bad Badger had both of his hands full with something or another. These two pieces of information contradiction. Both are correct? Both are correct. You're both correct. Impossible! That just leaves us with an irresolvable contradiction. Miss Poe's entire statement rests on the fact that she saw his sunglasses and beard. But what if that Bad Badger wasn't wearing pants on his lower half? This proves that there was a way for the Bad Badger to freely use both of his hands. Well, we can't pull up the other costume. Missing model gun. Yeah, I guess. Get your head on straight, Mr. Prosecutor. That doesn't show me diddly squat. Yeah, okay. It is a different body. We can explain. I'm like, what if it's that? Maybe I just wanted to see. Okay. Saw sunglasses and beard. What if that Bad Badger wasn't wearing pants on his lower half? Okay, it says, so it's saying pay attention to the pants part. Yeah, I could have used Proto-Badger body with a Bad Badger hat. No, not that one? Shit. Which one is it? Is it the... This? The Bible? It's not the Bible. Think your half-baked logic needs some more time in the oven. Which one did you want me to use? I know what you're getting at, but I don't know which piece of evidence you want me to use. It's alright, need to pay the price for what I've done. It's okay, we'll just reload. Thus, the truth was lost for all eternity. Womp womp. Retry. Chain of events. Oh, it's gonna make me start, like, literally start over. Why can't I just start from where I saved? It's okay, we'll just go right to it. I want to see if the bar is refilled, then we'll just... Oh. Uh-huh. Left-handed. It's a gun. Oh, father. Don't know. Raise his left hand! Pointed the gun in his left hand. Present the dossier. Yep. And he's right-handed. Oh, noes. And again. Holding with the right hand. Both are correct. Both correct. Resolvable contradiction. Okay. So, what do we use to show costumes separating the head and body? This was left in the isolation. Oh, because this is saying that the costumes separating the head and body. Major safe scummers who never seen that little failure cutscene. I thought about just loading it up, and I was like, no, I'll just skim through it. It's fine. Okay. I guess it would have helped if I read the descriptions of everything, because this clearly says the costume separating the head and body, which is the point we were trying to make and get at. Costumes have two parts to them, a head and the body.
Oh, I get it now.
The head Miss Poe saw was probably really the head of the bad badger. However, it's not possible that the body was that of an entirely different badger. Different badger? Yes, or to put it more bluntly, I believe it was the lower half of this badger. The proto-badger? I guess? What the heck is it?
It's the proto-badger.
Yes, and it's a simple manner of process of elimination. Miss Poe is wearing the blue badger costume, so we can eliminate that one. And the pink badger is one of the wrong color, which would have been incredibly obvious. All that is left is the proto-badger costume. Miss Poe, who was the one who wore the proto-badger costume?
That would be Lance.
Oh, look at you, you got found out, sucker. Are you saying what I think you are? That Lance Amano donned the bad badger's head and pretended to be Mr. Deacon? On top of which he plotted to shoot Miss Poe while wearing that hideous thing? The stage that was set up in the stadium was nothing more than that, a setup. And its purpose was to lead Miss Poe into believing that she had committed murder. Standing there in front of Miss Poe, pretending to be the victim. It was all done so that she would pull the trigger. I have no idea what you're talking about. Why exactly would I have had to do all that, huh? There's but one reason, Lance Amano. You are the real culprit behind the murder of Mr. Oliver Deacon. What?
No!
That's slander! Take it back! You take it back right now! Just out of curiosity, Lance, which is your dominant hand? I'm left-handed! What does that have to do with anything? Depends. According to Miss Poe, her attacker held a gun in his left hand. Ha! Who's what-handed doesn't prove a thing! Besides, now you're just being absurd. It's not like the proto-badger's bulletproof. One misfire and he would have found himself dead, right? Of course, logically, if he had been shot, he probably wouldn't be here with us. But I believe he had thought of that as well and prepared accordingly. He gave her the gun. He gave her the fake gun that was attached to the proto-badger costume. And this should be all the evidence you need. This is how Lance made sure that he wouldn't be hit by a bullet. The gun he gave her was a model gun. We found one half of a bad badger costume in the hideout, a broken one. It was not the same one the victim was wearing, plus was missing something. And that something is the model gun that the bad badger carries, which can fire blanks. What? Miss Poe, where's the gun you use now?
I think I threw it away into the sea.
And that makes it a bit tough to verify what it was. Although I believe that we can safely assume that it was the model gun in question. I've heard enough! All you've been spouting so far is pure conjecture! I admit that as long as the model gun is lost to us, I can't prove I'm right. However, I can say that the probability that I am right is very high. Okay, let's pretend that you're right and that the murder at the stadium was a fabrication. In that case, where do you think the murder really took place, Mr. Prosecutor? I don't know yet. Ha! I knew you were full of it! However, I do believe that the murder took place during an earlier time frame.
Please, wait a second. It's simply not possible. Because I saw Mr. Deacon after he was restrained by Lance.
She saw the victim in the state of being restrained? What Miss Poe saw?
He came back to the hideout long after the other two. By that time, Lance had already subdued and restrained Mr. Deacon. He had tied Mr. Deacon securely to the beam in the room next door.
Wasn't that where we woke up? That explains the rope.
After that, two of us put our costumes and made our escape.
So, Mr. Deacon must have escaped after the two of you left, right?
We thought that it'd attract too much attention if we left together, so I left first. We planned to meet up again at the stage in the stadium. But then, as I was walking through the park, I got a call from Lance on my cell phone.
Oliver managed to escape, and it looked like he was waiting until I was alone. He also stole the gun from me at that time. And then the murder happened. Mr. Deacon must have overheard their plan to meet up at the stage. Well, Mr. Prosecutor, Miss Poe saw the victim with her own eyes, which means that the victim was still alive at that time, wouldn't you agree? Why does that sound wrong to me? There must be something amiss about this account. Let's see what happens when I examine it in more detail. What Miss Poe saw? He couldn't have been restrained in that room with us, because we were there right before they left. When exactly did you arrive back at the hideout?
It was after we had picked up the ransom money.
And where were you up until the time you returned?
I was scouting the park out and making preparations for our escape. I walked around in the various areas looking for the best route.
Ah, so each of them had their own roles to play.
After I was done, I went back to the hideout.
Lance had already subdued and restrained Mr. Deacon. How did Lance look at that time?
He looked shocked. He also looked a little down. When I saw that sadness in his eyes,
Thank you. That's enough for now. And what of Mr. Deacon? What was his situation like? That was where we were tied up. Yeah, that can't be right. That's where we were tied up. You are sure that it was Mr. Deacon that you saw?
Yes, I'm certain of what I saw.
Did you go into the other room to check?
Lance said that it was best if I didn't get too close to him. Lance, he's such a kind soul.
Then, are you telling me that you did not confirm that it was Mr. Deacon for yourself? It was me! You thought it was Mr. Deacon, but it was I, Edgeworth!
I checked through the slit in the door that separates the two rooms. He had a bad badger's head on, so I'm absolutely sure.
That just had to be Mr. Deacon. We were wearing the head. She saw a bad badger head. So the tied up Mr. Deacon was still in his bad badger costume.
Yes, and...
It would appear that she misread the whole situation. What now? Should I raise an objection? Yeah, let's raise it. The person you saw was not the victim.
What? Why not?
I will tell you why not, with this. Then Miss Poe, show us that the person you saw... This Miss Poe will show us that the person you saw was not the victim. This head was left in the isolation room. Miss Poe, the person you saw was not Mr. Deacon at all.
Huh?
The person you actually saw was this person. Miles Edgeworth! It was me.
Huh?
I
person I saw was you, Mr. Edgeworth.
I always thought it was a bit odd. Why would the kidnappers abduct me even after I'd handed over the ransom? It's not as though I saw the face of the kidnappers. If I were them, I would have just taken the $1 million and ran. But in the end, there was a point to it all. It was to make me look like Mr. Deacon. And that was the reason for which I was abducted. And I believe we can assume that the victim was already dead at that time. Well, Lance, am I right?
Thoughts!
You showed Miss Poe a person, namely me with a bad badger's head on. And then, made your costume to escape together. So you pretended.
Huh? What do you mean he pretended?
Exactly that. I believe Lance watched you escape, and then doubled back to the hideout. Probably to come and remove the bad badger's head from my unconscious self. And to create his fake prison with the prop sword, he then escaped via the passageway. Hold your tongue, boy! Don't get caught up in that tidal wave of words coming out of Mr. Prosecutor's mouth. Tidal wave? I've heard a lot come out of you, but I've yet to see a shred of evidence. The victim's betrayal and his subsequent detainment. All of that could have happened while you were out cold.
That's right!
Well, you were out for quite a while, Mr. Prosecutor. Even if that were the case, Miss Poe would have still seen me tied to that beam.
I was scared of Mr. Deacon, so I didn't go into the next room. So I really have no idea if you were there or not, Mr. Edgeworth.
See, it would seem that you can't prove a thing.
Hold it!
Who said that? Sorry, who said that? Please wait. Mr. Amano. Miles, my boy, looks like you're really giving it your all. And Lance, it's not good to cause trouble for others.
Dad!
Let's see. You're the one in charge of the investigation, correct? Yeah, that's right. I'm sorry that my son has been nothing but trouble. This probably won't make up for anything, but I have some evidence for you. Oh, do you now? Hello, Bad Badger costume. Is that what I think it is? Oh, yep, there's the blood. And 2 guns. 2 guns. Oh, what is this? What's going on in there? What's that?
It's the bad badger costume the victim was wearing, and a gun!
I couldn't wait around for the police, so I went and found these myself. It appears that they were disposed of in the sea. Is there no one in this country who actually obeys the laws? There. There now. Agent Lang, please calm down. What the heck is that scrap of paper?
This appears to be a letter from the Chief of Police. Please allow Mr. Amano complete freedom to do as he sees fit, it says.
What? The Chief of Police? What the? Just who does he think he is? Probably someone who funds the police.
That person who wields the highest authority in this area.
There now. There is no need to be so upset. I'm not a cop from this land, so I'm not bound by the laws of your country. No. This wasn't meant to strong-arm you into anything. It's just a request. I'm only asking that you please respect the laws of the land. Can't really say no to that. However, returning to the topic at hand, it doesn't matter who found the evidence, its value remains unchanged. Alright, now let's take a look at this new evidence. I've already got the results back. I've had a special forensics research lab that I'm on good terms with conduct the tests. They verified that the blood on this costume belonged to Oliver. As for the gun, the only fingerprints they could find were yours, Lauren! What? You disappoint me, Miles. I can't believe that you would cause my son such stress and heartache! Thank goodness I was able to find the final pieces of evidence. With this, you'll have no reason left to push my poor boy around. That's it. These are the ace-making pieces of evidence. This gun looks exactly like that gun, meaning it's the fake that fires blanks. Ha. I'll be the judge of that. Won't rest until I've inspected every nook and cranny! Okay. Okay, buddy. Could this gun be the actual murder weapon? Validated, jetted down to my organizer. Discovered in the front of the main gates. This bullet hole.
Looks like it's kind of burnt around the edges.
Wait, those burn marks were left by the gunpowder. This is the most important fact.
Why is that?
Because that would only happen if the gun was fired up close and personal to him. Because it is proof that the victim was shot at point-blank range. We know that from previous games. I remember stuff. What is this? What's this? Looks like there's something inside the costume head. Is that a piece of broken mirror?
Hey, they sparkle. I bet they're really valuable.
Sorry, but they're just pieces of a mirror. But why are they in here? Oh, he probably got killed inside of the... Hold on. Did my camera decide to, like, kill itself and freeze? Because that's what it looks like. Camera, please. Refresh. You wait, camera? Cool. Don't know why it crashes sometimes, but there we are. But why are they in here? Because he probably got murdered in the storeroom. Mirror fragments, data jotted down in my organizer. Well, are these not the most definitive pieces of evidence you've ever seen? Thank you, Dad. This should be enough to convince even Mr. Edgeworth over there. Decisive evidence. Make no mistake, there are fingerprints on that murderous gun. And they prove that it was Lolly who killed Oliver. But Oliver was also after Lolly's life. So, Mr. Edgeworth, even you must see that Lolly was only acting in self-defense. Fingerprints on the weapon, huh?
Oh no, this isn't helpful at all.
Look, Mr. Edgeworth, all I want to do is save Lolly. But in the end, all I can do is watch on as she takes the punishment for her crimes. That may be all you can do, however. I still have a case to solve and a job to do. The job of unraveling your insidious lie. You wound me! Why won't you believe me, even in the face of all this evidence? Decisive evidence? There are fingerprints on that murderous gun. Those fingerprints, are you sure they belong to Miss Poe? There's no mistake about it. Through my connections, I had the best forensics techniques money can buy performed. I find that to be a bit peculiar. What? Are you trying to pick an argument with me? What should I do? Should I raise an objection? Nah. Perhaps I should wait and see how this pans out first. Prove those Lolly killed Oliver. You sure are calm for someone who's accusing his own girlfriend of murder. You have it all wrong. Allowing her to pay the price is a form of love. She says that she also wants to pay back her debt to society, but... Oliver was also after Lolly's life. And why do you believe that the victim was set on taking Miss Poe's life? I suppose it's because he wanted to silence her. To keep her quiet because she knows the truth behind the kidnapping. In that case, why did he not target you as well? That's because he knew that if he killed me, he wouldn't be able to control my father. Right you are. Even if it cost me millions, I would have found the killer. I believe he didn't kill you for an entirely different reason. However, I digress. Look, more than why he didn't kill me, I'm worried about what'll happen to Lolly. Lolly was only acting in self-defense. Justified self-defense? I suppose that's a possibility given the circumstances. Really? Oh, thank goodness. However, self-defense was not necessary in this case. What do you mean? Miss Poe is innocent. She didn't do anything, so why would she need to defend herself from nothing? You still don't believe a word I say, do you? This entire argument hinges on the fact that her fingerprints are on the gun. However, the truth does not lie there. It lies in whatever he is hiding from me, but not for long. Alright, now we'll raise an objection. Peculiar. What should I do? Yeah, let's raise an objection. Frankly, I don't believe that Miss Poe's prints should be on that gun to begin with. And the reason why Miss Poe's prints should not be on the gun is... because of the badger costume? Because she was wearing... because she was wearing a costume. Let's go with that. It's simply not possible for Miss Poe to have left any prints on the murder weapon. Because while she was at the stadium, Miss Poe was wearing a costume. Huh? But there's no mistake! We found fingerprints! Well, Miss Poe, do you remember touching the gun at all at any time?
Yes! As a matter of fact, I did hold it for a bit back in the hideout. I handed it off to Mr. Deacon when he and Lance left for the haunted house.
To retrieve the ransom money, I suppose. And there you have it. That is when Miss Poe's prints found their way onto the gun. Grr! Do you understand now, Mr. Romano? The fingerprints do nothing to prove that Miss Poe is the murderer. But you still don't have anything to prove that she isn't the killer, right? You seem very adamant about insisting your girlfriend is a cold-blooded killer.
Oh, Lance!
What? No way! I'm incredibly worried about her. But that doesn't change the fact that you don't have any evidence, right? That's where you're wrong. I have the evidence. What? How? The story that Miss Poe killed the victim in the stage in the stadium. The whole affair is simply not true, because that was not the real crime scene, but a setup. This proves that the real murder was not committed at the stadium at all. The glass? This piece of evidence proves that the real crime scene is not in fact the stadium. Mr. Prosecutor! I'd have to rate that piece of logic a 0 out of 10. No? Okay. 0. It's at least a 6.8 out of 10. At this rate, Lolly's going to wind up getting arrested. You must remain calm and think clearly. The murder did not happen at the stadium. In the scenario where the victim was up on the stage and Miss Poe was down below. Oh! It's the burn mark, because it had to be at point blank. Where did we put that piece of info? Stolen from the guard. Incapable of firing blanks. Human history, Tender Lender Company. Oh, here we go. Victim's costume. Word at the time of shooting, gunpowder burn is proof the shot was shot from point blank. Yeah. It's this one. Let us take another good look at the costume the victim was wearing. Then I believe you'll see why I insist he was not shot at the stadium. This is the part of the costume that proves it. Burn marks. The burn around this bullet hole was made when the victim was shot at point blank range.
Ah, so you mean that the murder Miss Oldbag saw at the stadium really was?
Yes, she saw 2 people, but they were separated by a distance. If the victim was indeed shot from below the stage, there shouldn't be a gunpowder burn. Ah! Look at you, Mr. Smarty Pants Prosecutor. Since you seem to know all the answers, why not tell us where the real crime scene is, then? Lance set me up to look like Mr. Deacon back at the hideout. If that's the case, then the murder must have happened prior to that. And the location where Lance and the victim were at, just before I was imprisoned, was... Oh, in the haunted house. I've got it. I know the real scene of the murder. The real location in which Mr. Deacon was killed is here. The haunted house! think it's not unreasonable to assume that the murder took place in the haunted house. Haunted house? Yes, and I have proof that it is highly likely that the victim was killed there. What proves that the real scene of the crime was the haunted house? The glass inside the head. These were inside the costume the victim was wearing. They're fragments of a mirror. Mirror? And what does that have to do with anything? Indeed, you don't exactly expect to find pieces of a mirror inside a costume.
Yeah, that's actually pretty dangerous.
However, there's one place I can think of where there's a plethora of mirror fragments. And that is the haunted house. Lance Amano, I propose that you killed Mr. Deacon with a revolver in the haunted house. Are we playing Clue here? Is that what we're doing? It was Lance Amano with the revolver in the haunted house. After that, he stole the Blue Badger mobile to move his body to the Wild Wild West area. The timing of when the Blue Badger mobile was stolen confirms this as a fact. Miles, my boy, say no more! I'm sorry, Mr. Amano, but I cannot do that. Be quiet! Yes, please do something! Stop that boy from speaking any more nonsense! Ernest Amano, correct? I meant you. Now be quiet, Gramps. How dare you! I don't need words. The only thing I require is evidence. Decisive evidence. And to call these mere bits decisive is a bit too presumptuous, Mr. Prosecutor. What? Sheena, wasn't there a mirror in the Kidnappers Hideout?
Yes, there was a mirror there. A mirror that's for the haunted house.
See? Isn't it possible the fragments got into the costume there? But, Agent Lang, there were no fragments on the floor, so the probability is very low. Ah. Probability? Lang Ji says, on Truth's path, the word probability does not exist. The only thing that does is definitive proof. The question, Mr. Prosecutor, is, do you have the definitive proof you need?
Well, Mr. Edgeworth, do you?
Do I have solid evidence that proves the murder took place at the haunted house? The answer is no. See? So since you don't have any, shut up! I don't have the evidence yet, but I'm certain the murder occurred around the time I turned the ransom over. At that time, the only people at the haunted house, besides myself, were Lance and Mr. Deacon. If I can prove that the murder took place at the haunted house, then I can prove Lance's guilt in connection to the murder.
What now, Mr. Edgeworth?
Agent Lang, I have a special request. Yeah? I'd like to prove to you that the scene of the crime was indeed the haunted house.
Why in the world are you asking the werewolf for permission?
Because I don't really have a choice if I want to find the truth. Alright, permission granted, but you're not to touch a single thing, got it? That won't be a problem. All that's important to me is that the truth be brought to light. It doesn't matter by who or how it's done, as long as it is. Sheena! This is how he is with Phoenix. Doesn't matter as long as it's the truth. Phoenix can win the case.
I'm here.
Put in the paperwork for authorization immediately.
Understood. I'll go get the Gatewater Group's approval.
Hold it. Who's holding it? Who is that? No. Let's hold on for a second. There's no need to obtain approval. Mr. Amano. Agent Lang, if you would please take a look at this. What is this? Sheena!
It's the deed to the haunted house.
The deed? Read it out loud.
Gatewater Land Incorporated hereby bequeaths the property known as the haunted house to Mr. Amano for the lump sum of $1 million, paid in full cash.
In cash, sorry. What? As you can see, I am now the legal owner of the haunted house.
Are you kidding? When did you...
I ran into the owner of the park earlier, and we made the deal almost immediately. How quickly things move when you can prepare $1 million in the blink of an eye. That $1 million you paid. Don't tell me it was... Oh, that's right. This disgusting suitcase belongs to you, doesn't it? I don't have any more use for it, so you may have it back now. You used the ransom money. My Lance is a good boy. He even apologized for the kidnapping a bit earlier. So I do believe that I will forgive him. After all, he did return the ransom money. That's the way things are, so if you would please discuss things with me from now on. Discuss? What is there to discuss? Why, permission to enter the haunted house, of course. Shit. While we were busy listening to Lance's story, Mr. Amano was out there preempting us. Permission to search the haunted house is denied. End of discussion. Agent Lang, I want you to arrest that girl. And Miles, you should hurry on home now, my boy, before I really lose my temper. Ugh, Mr. Amano definitely has the deck stacked in his favor here. What should I do? If I leave it like this, the truth will be lost forever. Oh no! To be continued. Okay, we're gonna save. So we're saving. We're gonna stop here for the night. I got to do some other stuff, but we will pick it up next week. So, yeah, well, I was hoping we could finish this case today, but that'd be how it be sometimes. Alright. Thanks everybody for watching. I hope you had fun. If you're not already following and you want to see more next week, go ahead and hit that follow button. Doesn't cost anything. Helps out the stream, and you get to see when we continue this next week. Yeah, for now. This case drags on a bit. Yeah, it does. I was just like, it's almost over! No, it's not, because things keep happening. Great. Thanks. But that's okay. It's all in good fun. It was a fun case. I'm enjoying it. We will wrap it up next week. Probably continue on with the one after this as well. Assuming there is one after this. And tomorrow will be FC Shenanigans night. We're not doing raid specifically, but we'll be doing raid training, so you can look forward to that if you're into FF14 stuff. But other than that, hope everyone has a fantastic night, fantastic rest of your weekend, and I will catch you all next week. Thanks again, and see you all then. Bye!